energy when we come down here. Time to rally around the West Indies. It's in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail. Whoa, West Indies is where we from. Sunshine and sweet steel drums. Whoa, no boundary could stop we might. When the West Indies unite, everybody charge up. West Indies going higher, full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. West Indies going higher, full of energy, energy. Whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Where we come from, six is ready, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where we come from, ignite the whole stadium. Look around, it's all aware. Jumping up past Pamela. Tell the bad man's not today. West Indies full of energy. Look around, it's all aware. Every hand up in the air. Cricket is the game we play. The West Indies full of energy. West Indies full of energy. Whoa, we full of energy. Whoa, look at energy in the place. Energy when we play. Energy all around. Yeah.
Oh, it's high in the air again.
Can you feel the love on a stranger's face?
Look at the West Indies.
West Indies cricket is all our legacy. Is our energy when we come down here. Time to rally around the West Indies. It's in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail. Whoa, West Indies is where we from. Sunshine and sweet steel drums. Whoa, no boundary could stop we might. When the West Indies unite, everybody charge up. West Indies going higher, full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. West Indies going higher, full of energy, energy. Indies cricket is all our we legacy. Is our energy when we come down there. Time to rally around the West Indies. It's in every creed and race. West Indies are the holy grail. Whoa, West Indies is where we from. Sunshine and sweet steel drums. Whoa, no boundary could stop we might. When the West Indies unite, everybody charge up. West Indies going high up, full of energy. Everybody charge up. West Indies going high up, full of energy.
From Bridgetown, Barbados, this is the CWI Wipa Awards at the historic Wyndham Grand Barbados, Sam Lord's Castle.
Yeah, great opportunity to welcome you here this evening to what we have termed the Champions Lounge, as we have put on this gala event, a collaboration between, of course, Cricket West Indies and the West Indies Players Association. And it's a huge celebration of a couple of things in particular. One, the 50-year celebration anniversary of the West Indies winning the inaugural World Cup in 1975, led, of course, by our own Sir Clive Lloyd. And, of course, we'll hear from the present players, the present crop, and celebrate them as well with the West Indian Players Association awards ceremony. So a collaborative effort here this evening, a gala event, and to start things off, we will hit the red carpet where Nicholas Maitland is waiting.
Thank you very much, Ian. And you're going to get the first peek of all the beautiful people who come to this grand celebration here at the Wyndham in Barbados. It's a fantastic location, and we are prepared to have a brilliant night with all the legends and the current legends of West Indies cricket. So stay tuned to this red carpet. You'll see some beautiful people, see some beautiful faces, and hear some beautiful stories. Back to you, Ian.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nicholas. And as you said, a galaxy of stars will be on show, on display, award winners, and of course a great moment to celebrate Sir Clive Lloyd's team. Remember, they won the two World Cups, the two initial World Cups, but we are celebrating 50-year anniversary of the first World Cup win in 1975. That anniversary yesterday, 21st of June. So I'll be joined by a number of guests here in the beautiful Champions Lounge, and the first two, as we will be speaking to several throughout the day, will be Louise Victor Frederick, who is an independent director of Cricket West Indies. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, Wayne Lewis, who is the secretary of the West Indian Players Association. Thank you, Wayne, for making the trip. All right, let's start, Louise, ladies first, always, with this collaborative effort and how it all came together.
Thanks, Ian. I think this year, this moment is so fitting that it would be remiss of West Indies Players Association or Cricket West Indies to not truly commemorate it. And so the planning around this, we would have started from December. Announcement would have been made in March into May. And I think we really got on the way in the last few months, really getting together so many meetings to ensure that every single detail was well thought out for this evening. And I think it's a moment of reflection. It's a moment to re-anchor us given where we are today in terms of our performance. Our hope is that the tone of this evening, the sentiment of this evening, the reflection, the inspiration from 1975 could serve as a moment to re-galvanize and re-mobilize West Indian fans, re-anchor us in what the spirit of Cricket West Indies is. It's in our spirit. It's not something that certainly disappears if we don't have an actual victory or cup, but it is the resilience of us as West Indian fans and as West Indian people that make our product as amazing as it is. So we hope that this moment could overshadow the dark clouds that are over us and really give us something to look forward to, a bright future that we can collectively celebrate and engineer going forward.
Part of the personnel that will be managing the present and that bright future, Wayne Lewis, would be under your stewardship as the organization called Wipa. Talk to us from your own perspective about this collaboration between Cricket West Indies and Wipa.
What happened really is that, fittingly, we have not had a Cricket West Indies Wipa Award since the pandemic. Because last year we approached President Shallow, Wavelines, President and CEO of Wipa, that we should try and get it back on the scene. Mm-hmm. And then as it turned out, when we were talking to President Shallow, he mentioned that this year is actually the 50th year of West Indies winning that first World Cup. So it's all fitting that we could collaboratively do it together, merge both events in one, so we can celebrate our current players, and at the same time celebrate in a major way the achievement, the monumental achievement of 1975. I was only 13 years old at the time. I was so excited. I remember we had no business being in the finals after beating Pakistan in that semifinals. I mean, there were tears all over the region when we beat Pakistan in that semifinals because we were done and dusted. And so
Thank
Andy
you very
Roberts,
much, Mr. Andy and Derek Murray,
of course, brought it back, and there was so much jubilation. So it was fitting in the end when we won, and Sir Clive Lloyd scored a century in that final, and Sir Vivian Richards running out 3 of the Australian batters and so on for us to win that game. So we thought that it was a fitting occasion for us to do this together and ensuring that it's a really, really celebrative effort on both parts, and we really demonstrate exactly what 1975 meant to the people in the region, and that's what we're trying to do now. And of course, our co-chair, Mrs. Deborah Corey Patton, who is an independent director of Cricket West Indies. She worked on the Cricket West Indies side. I represented Wipa on this side, and we co-chaired putting this together. It was tough because we had to get a lot of confirmations and so on before we could go public. So it took a while for us to get all that in place, and once we got it in place, we hit the road running, and here we are today.
As you can hear, a lot of hard work has gone into this, a lot of coordination, a lot of effort to get so many people here, not least the legends who participated in that World Cup in 1975. So, Louise, I'll throw it back to you and to give us some more insight, additional insight into what our viewers can expect this evening.
I think when we were planning, the sentiment was, this is the Oscars of cricket.
Right.
Like I said, the vibe in here, the space is so lovely. It's absolutely transformed. I think the red carpet setting outside it is a world-class setting that we have put on here tonight. But I think in the last few hours, from when the legends arrived into seeing them all this afternoon, they were at the board meeting. I think the absolute moments of joy when the legends connect with each other, as they have their own moments reflecting. You can see that that day, June 21st, 1975, meant or means so much to them beyond a victory. There is a shared brotherhood, there is a shared spirit that only they know. And I think in some of the handshakes, in some of the jubilation, in encountering each other, that has really translated. So I can't imagine what it would look like tonight when we actually do go live. And I think it may be a night of a lot of emotion. It will be a night of excitement. But I think it will be a night that will re-inspire us as Caribbean people.
Oh, very well said, very well put. Couldn't put it better myself. Unlike Wayne, I was 8 years old, not 13, when that 1975 victory came along. And we'll hear from the red carpet with Nicholas Maitland as we go through the evening. Wayne, just back to you. And what did that win mean with the younger charges, the present-day players, the young players and not so young players, as they read, perhaps as they watch and the stories are revealed to them about 1975? What are you hoping?
I'm hoping that they'll realize the awesome responsibility they have to continue to promote West Indies cricket, continue to represent West Indies and be proud of representing the region and understand what it means to the people of the region. Mm-hmm. For example, in England, when West Indies tours England, you played in England many times for the West Indies. You know what it meant to the people in England and what it does to their psyche and their emotions when the West Indies lose and what terrible they feel. So you have that added pressure of doing well and representing them with pride and joy. So we're hoping that this will reignite it. We have had a lot of changes in world cricket now with the proliferation of franchise cricket and so on. There's so much money involved in it. So sometimes we tend to get the feeling that some players they have lost a little of the pride and joy of representing West Indies. Okay. We're trying to reignite that and let them understand that at the end of the day, this is what it means. They have a responsibility to continue to put at least a smile on our faces because we're a proud region.
Oh, at the end of the night, so to speak. Louise, thank you very much. Wayne, thank you very much. We leave it there for the moment and just jump back out onto the red carpet, magnificent red carpet, where Nicholas Maitland is waiting once again.
Thank you, Ian, and I'm here with an absolute legend. Good to be here.
People that I have enormous amount of respect for. They're all here, so I'm in a good place.
At that time, 1975, you were a young man, one of the youngest in the team, if not the youngest. And now, 50 years later, how does it feel to be so revered by your peers and other Caribbean people?
Oh, it's just a great feeling. I guess what we accomplished in England in 1975, for me, is not just for our personal satisfaction, but the fans, the Caribbean public, and all fans of West Indies cricket. So it was basically dedicated to a whole host of people.
Talk about that success in terms of the world. I recently visited Somerset, and they have a great dedication to you over there. How does it feel to really become famous because of that and take West Indies cricket to the world?
Well, to be fair, as a Caribbean person, I guess there's a whole lot of people that we can inspire. And coming from a place where so many cricket lovers, it is great, in my opinion, to know that what those young folks and all the folks who support West Indies cricket were able to seeing what we accomplished. That to me, it's the inspiring force. That's why maybe we may have the next generation looking to achieve the things that were achieved earlier.
And what do you think about the next generation when you look at the Test team, the ODI team, the T20 teams?
We've got to keep on hoping and praying that we get back to where we once were. I believe that should be the ultimate goal. And as Caribbean people, we should all get behind the team and make sure that they can fulfill the goals, because I know for sure what the West Indies cricket team did achieve in 1975 and 79. We were like a Caribbean government then. We brought people together, and that to me, when you can accomplish that, you're playing a meaningful role in life.
And final question from me, Sir Viv, what's the one memory from that 1975 with you all throughout your life?
Oh, I wouldn't say anything that is personal about the 3 runouts, but to see the West Indians holding the cup, that to me was the whammy, in my opinion. That we should never, ever forget, because whenever you accomplish something for the first time, that's the inspiring force.
Brilliant, Sir Viv. Thank you so much. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, man.
And we'll see you soon. Thank you, and we'll be back in a little bit.
The game isn't just played on the field, it's won in the palm of your hand.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies Home Series with Fuller Energy.
Welcome to Mount Gay, the birthplace of rum. We are proud to be the world's oldest running rum distillery. And with 300 years of distilling rum, you could say we know how to make history. We are born from the spirit of Barbados. And with every sip, you'll know exactly why. Ours is a rum unlike any other. It's distinctive, unique, and impossible to replicate. This is more than a rum. This is Mount Gay.
Welcome back to the Champions Lounge. If you've just joined us, just a reminder that this is a gala event, a collaborative event between Cricket West Indies and Wipa. And of course, the big celebration is the 50th anniversary of the West Indies winning the inaugural World Cup in 1975, 21st of June 1975, led by no other than the great Sir Clive Lloyd, who I have the great pleasure of saying is here with me, and the voice, one of the voices that called that victory and that World Cup in 1975, Joseph Reds Pereira, is here as well.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Sir Clive, for being here with us. As you reflect, I know you would have reflected many times, this is the 50th anniversary. As you sit here with us now, your memories of that victory.
Well, the point is that when we came, we were not the favorites. And people didn't expect us to win, but we kept winning and we kept getting closer and closer. But the highlight was that, apart from the final, was the game against Pakistan when we needed 64 or 14 overs with the last pair in. And
Derek Murray and
Derek
and
and Andy, and I was sweating. And I remember my accountant, Gordon Andrews, I think he's a footballer or something like that. So he came in and he said, Clive, you're 66 to 1 to win. And I've put some money on you. And here's a case of pale ale. So he put it on. I said, Gordon, you must give me some of that thing you're drinking. You know what I mean? And then Andy got stranded in the middle of the pit, but the guy didn't collect the ball, so he got home. I drank about 2 pale ales every over. So at the end, I was inebriated. In other words, I was drunk. Right. But the team just, at that moment, we thought, we can't lose this. But we played good cricket, and these are all young fellas. Viv Richards, 20 or 20, Gordon Greenidge, Cali Churan, Boyce.
That was Viv's first ODI, and West Indies had only played 2 one-day internationals prior to that World Cup.
Yeah. And then we had Bernard Julian, so we had a mixture. Right. We only had the 2 veterans, Lance and Kanai. So I thought it was a very balanced side. And by winning that trophy, I tell you, it gave our cricket a lift because we were in the doldrums. Right. I took over from Rohan. We went to India, and we won the series 3-2. It was quite close, So it was memorable.
And Joseph, if I may shift to you, you called those moments all the way through that World Cup. What are your memories, and what do you feel that did for the people of the Caribbean?
Well, that was probably the greatest motivating day for Caribbean people. Okay. Because I'm told that Parliament stopped, Cabinet stopped, bus stopped, school stopped, everything stopped, especially in the game that Sir Clive mentioned. When Murray walked out with Robert, 6-4 to get. I mean, everybody was standing in Boston. You can cut the air. And interesting, if you read the history, Akram was in fact the man of the match because Tom Gravney had decided very early it was with a Pakistani. And had left the ground.
Yes, it wasn't Derek who had scored 61 not out to win the game. So just drawing on that, Sir Clive, and the winning, and we've heard a little bit from Sir Vivian on the red carpet. Your 100, of course, in that final game. The runouts of Sir Vivian, you were involved with one. Yeah. How vivid are those memories?
Oh, Viv was always enthusiastic and so on. And the Australians were never good runners between the wicket. And for some reason, they panicked a bit and they lost 5 wickets to run out. So but the point is, we had beaten them before in qualifying games, so we weren't afraid of them as such. But you always have to be on guard when the Australians are playing because, they're very professional.
Joseph, final word to you and how West Indies cricket quickly took off after that.
Yes, I was very lucky. But just to go back to the fact that I was doing my first World Cup, right. I want to go back to Clive's leadership in India, right. which welded that team in 74, which had a reflection on how they played in 75. Yeah. The victory over Australia, I think, was the final.
Thank you very much, Joseph. And I can call him Joseph Reds Pereira. Sir Clive, thank you very much for regaling us with some of those memories. All the time. And we will now return to the red carpet where Nicholas Maitland has another guest lined up.
Thank you, Ian, and great conversation over there. We have a great conversation in store here on the red carpet as well. I'm with Conde Riley, the president of the Barbados Cricket Association. Nice to see you, Conde, looking all sharp and evening. Tell me though, how do you feel to be at this swanky celebration with all these legends of today and yesteryear?
Well, it's the 70th anniversary, right?
50th anniversary.
50th anniversary, yes. Yeah. Winning the World Cup. It's a real pleasure. I feel good that it is in Barbados. As a president. Yeah.
Any person in particular you're looking forward to seeing this evening? We have legends of yesteryear, today, present members of the West Indies teams, women and men. Anybody you're looking forward to seeing?
Haley, to be exact. I remember was nervous. He said, "You're going to mash up this child." I said, "No, man. She's going to turn out to be one of the best," and she has.
Well, thank you. You enjoyed this evening.
I certainly will.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Back to you, Ian.
Yeah, it's great to hear from some of these legends and great to hear from the current players as we go through the evening. I've been joined again by two legends here in the Champions Lounge and two men who were key to that victory for the West Indies 50 years ago. Remember, 21st of June, 1975. Derek Murray, who we just spoke about. Derek, thank you so much for joining us in that partnership with Andy Roberts and Sir Vivian Richards, and we spoke about Sir Vivian's 3 runouts in that final as well. Derek, if I could start with you, we have spoken about that game against Pakistan being a seminal moment. Sir Clive mentioned it in the march towards that 1975 World Cup. When you review all of that together, what are your thoughts?
Yes, it was a seminal moment in West Indies cricket, but not just for the World Cup. I mean, it gave us the real belief that we were going to win the World Cup. We thought we had a chance. We got out of a very tight situation, but it was more than just the World Cup competition. It was fitting into the history of West Indies cricket, which prior to that had always been of spasmodic West Indian victories when things were going well. So we won matches by 6 wickets, we won matches by 120 runs, but never anything close. And this actually was living proof that we can win from any circumstances, not just when we were on top in a game, but come from any situation. And I think that changed our whole self-esteem, self-belief for going forward for a period that was almost unconstrained success on the cricket field.
Just before I go to Saviv, I've talked with you for numerous times over the years, and I've never asked you if not getting the Player of the Match award in that game for that half-century partnership for the 10th wicket surprised you as it went to a Pakistan bowler who picked up 4 wickets.
At the time, it did surprise me, but it's a great talking point, Bish, so people remember how you could do that and your team won the game and you're not the man of the match. But it makes a great story as well, so I live with that.
A World Cup medal at the end of all of that, I suppose, eased and appeased any of the pain that was felt. So Vivian, you played a crucial role. You were new into one-day cricket at the start of that World Cup, and it culminated with some brilliance in the field from yourself, your own memories.
But before we got to the final, something happened at Edgbaston, where apparently we're in serious trouble. You would have heard Derek mention it briefly. Without that particular partnership with Andy and Derek, there wouldn't have been no run-outs, no Clive hundreds and stuff like that. So I think that was pretty much pivotal in what Derek and Andy achieved, because to be fair, there wouldn't have been no final, and all the stuff which Derek would have explained earlier, there wouldn't be any of that, because there wouldn't have been no final. And who knows what would have happened in 1979. Yes. You know, that's a long way off anyway. But And I don't think what they achieved was played enough in terms of what they accomplished that day.
You said okay, yes.
I don't think it was given the coverage that it should, and that's my personal opinion.
Right.
But that was pretty much pivotal in us why we became such a good team.
One Day Cricket did not have a long foray prior to that 1975 World Cup, and yet the West Indies, who had only played 2 games prior to that, went on to win those 2 World Cups, 1975 and 79. What was it about West Indies cricket that gave them an advantage over the rest of the world?
I felt there's a lot of guys I felt in the opposition who we had good bowlers, and we had some guys, you know, who could put some respectable scores on board for them to defend. And I think it's a balance. Yeah, you have guys, you know, who I've never played in a team where I know so many guys who knew their roles.
Right.
And when you have that, that's to me sense of professionalism. So in the end, you feel you could accomplish anything.
Derek, your in closing, your final thoughts on what you would want the rest of the Caribbean and the world to know, and particularly for young players tonight, the present crop who will receive awards, about that victory in 1975.
I think really that you have an opportunity to break ground, new ground. It's a new format of cricket. We were just becoming to be recognized in Test cricket as the top team, and we felt and believed that once you can play Test cricket, you adapt and you play any other format of the game, and I still believe that, and I just think that it's worth focusing on the basics, the fundamentals, and learn to adapt to particular circumstances.
Still think that you guys are a team ahead of your time. Sir Clive's 100 in that final was scored, I think, at a strike rate of 120. Unheard of back then. That would go well today. Thank you, Derek. Thank you very much, Sir Vivian. Don't go too far away, because we'll take a short break and we'll be back with more here.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies Home Series with Fuller Energy.
Isn't just played on the field, it's won in the palm of your hand.
I've plucked someone out of the galaxy of stars, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Stephen Leslie of the Barbados Cricket Association. Stephen, as I said, galaxy of stars here this evening, stars of yesteryear, stars of the present day. How does it feel to be here among such royalty?
This is a wonderful occasion. The opportunity to be able to first celebrate the 1975, some 50 years ago, those pioneers of West Indies cricket, and also to have the West Indies Players Association Awards together. It is a wonderful place, Barbados, which is really the bastion for cricket in the Caribbean. And I think what is going to happen tonight, you're going to have the opportunity to interact. You're going to have the opportunity to be able to probably hear stories for how those young men back in 1975 really played their best to be able to bring glory to West Indies cricket. And then you've got the current generation, this young group, who might not have been doing as well as they could have in the last decade or so, but they're really pressing forward and giving 100% effort. So tonight, I believe, will be a wonderful occasion.
Let me ask you a personal question. Where were you during that 1975 victory?
I was being conceived in terms of the thoughts. I was born some 3 years later, but I did a lot of research and really watched what they were able to achieve. And then again, as you know, these guys were like world champions, and not only world champions, but they dominated cricket with a style and a flair that we in the Caribbean still are known for. So it's really a good opportunity to be here tonight, and I hope that this actual event will be one that can be replicated going forward. You may not be celebrating 50 years, but you want to be able to celebrate excellence.
Well, just like me, you were born post 1975, and still that victory means so much to all of us. Personally though, what's it mean to you working in cricket and being around cricketers day in and day out?
Well, I've been doing it for just about 3 decades now, and it's really an honor. I look at the whole black masculinity concept, where cricket allows these Caribbean men to show that we can be great among any group of persons. So I'm really happy to be part. I worked at the University of West Indies for 2 decades, now at the Barbados Cricket Association. It's really an honor, and I take every day, and I don't ever take anything for granted.
Who are you looking forward to seeing? We saw a whole host of celebrity cricketers pass us just recently. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most?
I want to say hi again to Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards, really a pioneer for batsmanship. Maybe if he was in this era playing T20 cricket, would have been one that dominated, but certainly tonight he will be the person we want to see once again.
And how's it feel to be in Barbados, hosting in Barbados at this brand new facility for people to come to see the beauty of Barbados and celebrate our cricket as well?
Wonderful location. Again, the renovations that were done here some few years ago, now we can really see some of the real beauty that Barbados offers. And I had the opportunity today to see the West Indies versus South Africa women at the 3Ws Oval. Again, a next lovely ground, and then we'll have the opportunity to see the test match at Kensington Oval starting Wednesday. So it's all coming together, and we're really proud to be hosting here in Barbados.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Enjoy your night. Hope you see Sir Vivian a little later on. And Ian, we're coming back to you.
Yes, as Stephen said there, Visit Barbados. They've contributed to tonight's awards, Coca-Cola, Mount Gay, Betcage, Banks, and STIGIX. I'm not sure how to go about that, but I am 100% certain that I can get into our next 2 guests. Shane Dietz, who is the current coach of the West Indies women's team. Nice victory today. Congratulations. I know the decider is tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. And Darren Sammy, of course, who needs no further introduction. 2-time World Cup winning captain, former captain of the West Indies, and now the current coach of the West Indies. So Darren, we'll get straight into this, celebrating 50 years of the West Indies winning that inaugural World Cup in 1975, and you've spoken eloquently about the history of West Indies cricket and what it means.
Yes, just walking in here, you were speaking to Sir Viv, and you know, somebody that is being talked about, probably the greatest to have ever done it, you know, and I grew up listening and hearing stories about that 1975 World Cup from my pops. And then the more I played and understand what it meant, you know, and what happened and what transpired with Sir Clive Lloyd's team, followed by Sir Vivian Richards' team. You were part of it in the late 80s, early 90s. What it did for our people all over the world, you know, during that time. That is why we West Indians are still celebrated, because of the legacy that these guys, these champions created. People still relive that moment. And I try to explain and make our guys now understand the reason why people still come and celebrate. The reason why West Indies is still everybody's second favorite team is because of what these men before us did. And I'm so glad to be here and celebrating 50 years that achievement. And it's going to be a great evening.
We do hope so, and we'll come back to Darren on that point, because West Indies, through some great players through the 70s, through the 80s, created that environment and that love that you talked about, and then that translated a little later to 2012, 2016, and the way that your teams played, that created a fervor that other people fell in love with West Indies cricket. Hold that thought there for me, because I want to jump to you, Shane, and when you hear all of this history, you've looked on from afar before coming to join the women's version of the game. How is that segment of West Indies cricket and this environment of the celebration?
Yeah, it's an honour to be here. You know, growing up in Australia, the West Indies team was probably my favourite team because they were beating Australia, so I always wanted to follow the winner. And my first ever Test match was at SCG against West Indies, and Larry Gomes got 100. I'll never forget that. But yeah, just with the girls, to be able to live on and take on what those guys did in '75 and use that inspiration to win a World Cup in the next few years is something we talk about a lot, and the history of that great team then, what they done for West Indies cricket. So now women, we're forging a new era, and we're going to start making our own history as well, and that's really important. But we've got to take from the past and take it to the future.
And of course, the West Indies women's team, on the same day that the men won their second World Cup title, they won their first, Darren. What a day that must have been.
Man, this is something special. You know, I remember vividly, as soon as we came off that bus in Eden Gardens, I think, who was it, Haley or whoever, hit the winning run. And all of us, the entire team, we didn't even have to put our bags. We all just ran onto the field to congratulate them. And that inspired us to go on to win later that evening against England. But it's just when you talk about World Cups, whichever one, yes, it's the T20 format, but when you talk about World Cups, the first thing that comes to mind, you'll hear about 75 and then 79. You know, West Indies winning the first ever two. And for us to have done it in 2012 and 2016, you know, it brings back that memory, that feeling, you know, and I could talk about it because, you know, being part of that team against all the odds, when nobody gave you a chance to come out victorious. And I'm pretty sure, just thinking and hearing about the history, you may know more than me, just West Indies winning in England.
Yeah.
Especially in England, you know, what it meant to our people, man, it's just great. And to celebrate these guys, and for us, something Dwayne Bravo always spoke about, you know, creating our own legacy from what these champions did before us. You know, it was something special to be part of.
We're going to jump back out to the red carpet momentarily, but I just want to remind the world that the West Indies won those 2 World Cups, and not everyone enjoyed one-day cricket at the time. It was a little controversial in some quarters, but we remember them as great cricketers. And what you guys did, it wasn't universally loved, winning T20 World Cups, but you've produced some greats of West Indies cricket. Do not let that lie lightly. Shane, thank you. Darren, thank you. Yes. Back to the red carpet.
Yes, thank you, Ian. I'm here with one of the present ladies in the West Indies women's team, Janilia Glasgow. She's a native of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. First of all, Janilia, welcome to these awards, the CWI Wipa Awards. Tell me about the fit, though, because the fit, you're looking brilliant tonight. Tell me about the fit. What inspired it?
First, I want to say thank you very much. It's my second time actually wearing a suit. My first suit was a natural wedding, so you know, I'm saying let me try another suit. I know I look good in the first one, so I want to try it again. So, you know, it's really fitting me, you know.
Indeed, fitting is the word. And you have this cowboy hat, is it?
It's a cowboy hat. My head is not too, you know, looking 100% now, so I think a natural cowboy hat will fit my suit. So each say, and I'm looking sharp.
Yeah, you're doing well. You're doing well. Now, let's talk about the legends of the past who would have paved the way for players like you, players in the men's team as well. Coming up, did you hear a lot about that 1975 winning team, and did they inspire you to take up cricket?
Yes, one of my old folks has given me a lot of videos from before, showing me of them, like a lot of cities. So, seeing those enjoyment after after when the winning games, I want to feel that enjoyment and the passion of the game of cricket.
Well, you felt that enjoyment today because the West Indies women got a victory over South Africa. You were at the crease for a little bit. Tell me about that game and how was it for you to come to this event on the back of a victory?
It's a really good feeling. No, it's a West Indies ceremony. Coming out from that victory, can't wait to go home, get dressed and all dandy up and come to the ceremony. So I must say it's a great feeling.
Now, years ago, West Indies cricket was seen as the powerhouse in the world. And I know we want to get back there to the summit of cricket. What are the women doing to get themselves to the summit of women's cricket in the world?
I think, as I said earlier on this morning in one of my interviews, I've done many interviews for the day, so the mic is coming at me a lot, so I can't be shy anymore. But I think a lot of physical take us to be fit. To be on the park hold is not easy, especially when the sun is out and shining, like no clouds in the sky. But I think it's hard work, that extra work especially, putting in the extra work, like getting up all the mornings rather than 10 o'clock in the mornings. You get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and putting that extra work. So it's about some time and patience, about how you go about your game and what you want to rely on.
All right, Janelia, final one from me. We've seen a galaxy of stars moving into the main ballroom. Who are you looking forward to seeing and meeting of those legends from yesteryear?
To be honest, it's a lot. Not really, not really looking forward to
Anybody in particular?
Yeah, to anyone in particular, but it's just to meet them, just that feeling, when you see them sometimes you don't know what to say but to just introduce yourself. So it's just great to see them and just, be around them, ask a couple of questions, especially about the game of cricket because they are the legends. So, it's a great feeling to see them out here.
And as the young people say, taking their aura as well this evening. Well, Janelia, thank you very much for spending some time with us. You look clean here in this suit. Ian, back to you in the Champions Lounge.
Thank you very much, and great to be back here actually, because we've had some special guests passing through, and we hope that over the course of the evening we will hear some more insight about 1975, but also we will see the awards passed on to the winners for performances over the last year of West Indies cricket, both male and female, and a great privilege to have Deborah Coyett-Patton here with me this evening. And Deborah, the meaning of this whole celebration, gala celebration, collaboration between Cricket West Indies, of course, to bring all these stars together, these legends, how challenging has it been?
Well, it was a bit challenging, but notwithstanding that, we felt it was something that we needed to do. They are deserving of being here. We felt we needed to celebrate them. Mm-hmm. So regardless of what both CWI and Wipa needed to do to get them here, we felt it was very important. Not only important for the organization of CWI and Wipa, but we felt to the collective CARICOM countries as a whole.
So you've taken this to the broad perspective, big picture, and revisiting what this 1975 celebration with the great Sir Clive Lloyd, Sir Vivian Richards, Andy Roberts, who's here, Derek Murray, who's here, so many legends, and how it unifies the Caribbean people?
Yes, so cricket in itself is, it's what unify the countries, all the CARICOM countries together, and bringing them together, and in fact even having them here all together. What we saw is where they were just meshing together, catching up on old times, and the smiles, the laughter, the memories, the recollection of old times. It was phenomenal.
Why is that important?
It is important because as a people, and I'm speaking of CARICOM, we need to see what unity is all about. And we need to continue to foster that unity as a CARICOM integration in itself. So that is very important. So the youngsters, the people, they need to see this unity, this uniting force, what was in the past. So you can only learn from your history. So seeing that, I think it augurs well, and it is a strong message actually for the young ones, the young cricketers as well, to see how these cricketers from 1975, how they operated, how they worked together, how they meshed and mellowed. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much again for your insight. I know you've played a big part in the organization of this whole gala event, Wipa and Cricket West Indies collaboration, celebrating the current players, but also celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 1975 World Cup win led by Sir Clive Lloyd. Let's go back out to the red carpet and join Nicholas.
Thank you, Ian. I'm here with Philip Spooner. He's an esteemed colleague of mine and someone who's very near and dear and close to the West Indies legends. First of all, Philip, how's it feel to be here at the Wyndham Grand to celebrate that victory in 1975?
Magnificent. This is really a grand occasion in every sense of the word, and I'm absolutely delighted to be part of it. Here in Barbados, where, sort of the home of cricket in the West Indies, and just to be surrounded by so many great icons of the game is absolutely magnificent. And this what it promises to be, I think it will actually outdo itself.
Now, I would ask you who you're looking forward to seeing, but you probably ran into all the guys on your way here. But who in particular would you like to hear some stories from on that famed win in 1975?
Well, I've been working with them for over the last 2 weeks. I've actually been in touch with all the legends that are here tonight. I met Kali Sharan yesterday for the first time in 30 years. And he's the man with the stories. Kali Sharan is definitely the man with the stories. Viv Richards is the man with all the interesting other bits. And Clive Lloyd obviously is just the master of everything else. But I think just everybody, even seeing Sir Wes Hall, Joel Garner, people like Desmond Haynes, other legends of the game that probably not part of 75 team, but obviously great men of West Indies cricket and some great women of West Indies cricket as well. People of West Indies cricket, people around cricket. It's just a magnificent event for cricket, and it demonstrates that cricket is by some distance the #1 sport in the Caribbean, and definitely holds pride of place in the hearts of people all across the Caribbean.
You were born in 1975. You celebrated your 50th birthday recently. Feel to be born in the same year that West Indies had this momentous victory.
Yeah, it's quite surreal. I said that to myself. I was a month old when they won the World Cup, so I was just like, maybe they won it for me. But no, on a serious note, everything about West Indies cricket, I'm committed to. I had 15 magnificent years in the West Indies dressing room. 2 of them, they won T20 World Cup. So I mean, for me, that is, creme de la creme. But to be here tonight to celebrate 50 years of the 1975 team is top tier. This is just cricket's version of the Oscars. And red carpet, cricket. As the Clive said at Lord's last week when we were there, it's the Broadway of a cricketer's life, and a place to parade, enjoy. And as he spoke about 1975 and what he did and what the team did and what it meant to everybody, and today when Survey was asked, what is it about 75 you like the most? He said, when I did like that. He said, when I held that cup in my hand and I did like that, that for him was, for everybody here tonight who's enjoying the moment, I say thanks for coming, and for everybody around the world that's watching, you're in for a bit of a treat. Cricket West Indies and West Indies cricket is top tier.
Super, Philip. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing some time, and enjoy your evening.
Thanks very much. Pleasure.
Thank you, Ian, and back to you in the lounge.
Yeah, great to be back here, and a chance now to talk some administration, because with me is Lower Lynch, who was the Minister of Tourism back in 2007 when the West Indies hosted the World Cup here in the Caribbean. He was also part of the local organizing committee, also for the T20 World Cup organization. Thank you so much for giving us the benefit of your time and an overall picture of the event and the celebration of the 1975 World Cup winners, and of course, the celebration of the current players here with the Wipa Award ceremony.
Well, I think anyone who was alive at the time and was interested in cricket saw what winning a World Cup could have done in terms of lifting the spirits of West Indian people. I believe a lot of that has, in recent time, has been lost. I was a young man at the time.
Right.
not involved in cricket in any way, in administration or the like. But to see Sir Clive's team win a World Cup for the first time, I think it was 60 overs at the time.
Yes.
It was impressive for all of us. I mean, we walked around our high schools, and I was just out of high school. But we walked around our high schools in those days being proud with our shoulders up about Sir Garfield and the other greats that we had known, and Wes Hall and whatever else. But to see this team win a World Cup for the first time meant that we were saying that you could come from this very humble existence and be the best in the world at an endeavor. And that in itself speaks volumes to what anybody could be in the Caribbean. I think sometimes we don't understand and appreciate that cricket is really our metaphor for development. Cricket, we've beaten the world at a global endeavor, coming from very humble circumstances. It says that, you know what, I can come from this part of the world, I can be a global citizen with Caribbean roots.
We went from winning those 2 initial World Cups to hosting World Cups and providing facilities for this generation to ply their trade. How challenging or how beneficial has that been, because you were closely wrapped up in all of those organizations?
Well, for one thing, I have a slightly different perspective most of the time on what we should really be going after. My premise has been that if you've been so good at this game, because there's something in the water in this region that makes us better cricketers per capita than anybody else. How do you harness that? How do you identify what it is? How do you identify people like yourself? How do you identify what it is that we can do? And how do you get that infused into the minds and the hearts of the people that we've got? Now, obviously getting facilities is obviously very challenging because it's time consuming, it's also very costly. But the thing is that what the legacies of all these World Cups should be, that not only do we create facilities for the world to come to play in, but once the World Cup is gone, how do you translate those facilities, recreate those facilities to be able to build new players and players at the global level? And I've always felt, and I say that without apology, that what we should be doing now is what the Brazilians have done with football. What we should be doing, in my opinion, is creating a factory of cricketers that can ply their trade all over the world. Big Bash, CPL, IPL, the leagues in North America, some of the more Asian leagues. What you need is a slew of cricketers that, in my opinion, 250 cricketers, we're turning them over, that they're earning a living and really creating the industry that we want. And then that industry in itself spins off into bats and balls and memorabilia and clothing and everything else. That's what I think we should really be going after, and not just thinking all the time about coming and winning. Yes, we want to win a World Cup, right, but what we want is our young men and women to be earning money, to be creating an industry the same way tourism, oil and gas, energy. That's what we want.
Well, again, Noel, I want to thank you for that holistic view and for your endeavors in bringing World Cup cricket on a couple of occasions to the Caribbean and sharing in this celebration with us once again. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Champions Lounge. Of course, we've got the red carpet outside as well, with people traipsing in and out. So we'll hear through the evening from some more on that red carpet.
Thank you, Ian. Once again, it's been a real galaxy of stars passing through here. I've been just looking at everybody and just being amazed at the star power that we have here this evening. We've heard stories about possible birthday presents. We've had stories about people being born in 1975 and enjoying that win even as much as the persons who would have been born even before then. It's a real global celebration that World Cup win was. It really positioned West Indies cricket at the forefront, and as we believe, we are still at the forefront. So this evening is going to be a celebration of our shared heritage, our shared cricket, and our love of cricket especially. So we've had beautiful people passing through. I'm sure even more beautiful people are inside, and we're going to hear more stories from the stage and even afterwards. So a brilliant night so far, and looking forward to even more. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Look, I share the sentiments. Really looking forward to the rest of this evening. We've had Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Clive Lloyd, sitting right here, Joseph Reds Pereira, who called those moments of the West Indies winning that World Cup in 1975. And we've got so many more legends here with us. And of course, Darren Sammy was here, Shane Dietz, and they will be hoping to create a brighter future in addition to conquering the present. So thank you very much for being with us, and don't go too far away because we will have a short break a little while from now. But first of all, Nicholas Maitland has some more insight and updates for us.
No, I can't see the screen. So some more stars coming through. I'm here with Petra, the marketing specialist here at Wyndham Grand. Petra, how excited are you that we're having this event here at this hotel?
Very, very excited. We also have our general manager, Leroy Brown, who is here this evening. And you know, Wyndham Grand Barbados is one of the signature hotels on the island, and we're very happy that Cricket West Indies thought that we were the best place to host this, and we are. And I'm sure that you're going to enjoy an evening filled with amazing food, fantastic service, and really just an all-round fantastic night.
Are you guys cricket fans? I'm sure you are.
Huge cricket fans, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So how exciting is it for you to see these legends of the past years?
No, it's great. A lot of history. You know, these guys perform for the Caribbean really, really well. We have always been very proud of them, and it's great to see them all in one place. And a lot of them still around, so it's fantastic, yeah.
Your expectations for tonight?
I believe that this is going to be, it's a star-studded event. I believe it's going to live up to its billing, absolutely.
Indeed, and both of you look superb and stunning here on the red carpet. Nice to see you all. Thank you for spending some time with us, and enjoy tonight.
Thank you. Take care.
I also have the West Indies women's captain, Hayley Matthews. She's a good friend, so I'm sure we'll have a riveting conversation. Hayley, half century today, and fitting that you scored a 50. You wear number 50, and today is the 50th anniversary of that World Cup win, so 50s all around. How's it feel to be here this evening?
Yeah, it's quite exciting. We're obviously here to honor a lot of people who've been giving their all to West Indies cricket for the past year. So it's going to be exciting to see all those awards being given away and honoring everyone who's put up their hand and done really well.
Who are you looking forward to seeing? We have Sir Viv, Sir Clive, all these legends. Anybody in particular you want to see?
Yeah, I think it's quite hard to look past Sir Viv. A man like him, obviously, we all know about his strut and attitude walking out to the crease. I'm not sure it will be the same when he walks out onto the stage tonight.
I think you possess a little bit of that swagger that Sir Viv had, and even more so. At that time, those guys positioned themselves at the top of cricket worldwide, and obviously we are trying to position ourselves once again there. As women's captain, how you see your role in trying to position women's cricket in the region back at number one or to number one?
Yeah, well, I think looking at those guys and what they would have done for West Indies cricket and how they set the tone years ago, making West Indies cricket a very fearful team. So yeah, just trying to do the same, obviously lead by setting really good examples within the team, and hopefully we'll be right back at the top in no time.
And final question from me. We're here in Barbados at Wyndham Grand. What do you think of the facility and everything you've seen so far?
Yeah, it's been very nice. I think my first time down here, getting to see it, and it's quite the place after being renovated. So yeah, quite excited to get everything done here. And when it's all done, I might have to come and spend a few days as well.
Nice plug there. Well, thank you, Haley, and enjoy this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Back to you. Well, sorry, Ian. We're still here on the red by Nikita, soca singer, radio personality, and all-round fantastic person. Nikita, how's it feel to be here at the Wyndham Grand in Barbados in St. Philip?
Well, tonight I am a West Indies fan and West Indies ambassador. Very, very proud to have that title. And I met Sir Viv, and I know that was a dream of mine and my dad. So I know he's smiling bright there. I already sent a selfie to him. But we're looking forward to see who's ODI Player of the Year and also honoring the legends. And they're here too, giving them their flowers while they're here. I love it, man. A great night in West Indies cricket.
So besides Sir Viv, who are you looking forward to seeing, meeting, hearing some stories from?
I want to hear them all. I didn't want to hear like the ones that, you know, we would have never heard about before. But just being around them, seeing them dressed up in their black tie, and just, it's a sweet moment. It's a sweet moment.
And speaking of black tie, you look fantastic here this evening. I think I said that already. What's the inspiration behind this outfit here?
Well, I try my best. You know, when you hear soca, we usually in short pants and sneakers, but tonight we get to dress up a little bit. You know, just taking on elegance. They did a really good job with the decor and everything set. We were at Wyndham, so yeah, to dress up right.
Very well. Thank you, Nikita, for joining us here on the red carpet. You look fantastic, if I do say so again. Thank you, thank you. And we'll be back, and we're going back to the Champions Lounge. And here with Miles Bascom, Director of Cricket West Indies. Miles, welcome to Barbados. Welcome to the Wyndham Grand. Good to be here on this swanky occasion.
It's really good. I mean, it's good to be back in Barbados. I've spent a lot of time here. I've never made it to this end of the island, but it's lovely. And the facility here is quite breathtaking as well.
Now, legends of the past, who are you looking forward to seeing and meeting?
Well, I actually met quite a few of them already. A number of them also joined us in our board meeting today, and you know, we heard their thoughts on some of the things we could do, you know, to try to change the fortunes of West Indies cricket. Some of which, you know, we are already started, and some of which we will definitely try to implement. I had a very interesting conversation with Alvin Kalitcharan, and to hear him talk about the way he prepared. You know, it's a lot of what they did then. You know, persons have come up with a lot of names for it now, and you know, they have scientific terms for it. You know, visualizing, etc. You know, so to hear that these are the things that they used to do when they were preparing, you know, I think it's really good if we can, you know, get them to talk to our players, get them to understand that they were not just super talented people who played for West Indies at a point in time. You know, they were persons who worked at their craft. You know, they spent a lot of time preparing. They worked hard. He spoke a lot about the time that he spent running, you know, and how he used that to bridge the gap, his fitness and mobility to bridge the gap between the strength that some of his other teammates had. You know, it was a quite interesting conversation where he mentioned that his test strike rate might actually be 100 plus. Right, and even though he played with some of the most powerful batsmen, you know, that ever graced the field for West Indies, he probably has as many or more boundaries than some of those very powerful players. So it was really a conversation with Alvin.
Indeed. Well, Miles, thanks you very much. I'm sure that tonight will be a very delightful night for you as well, and they will talk off your ear a little more. Thank you for being with us on the red. And we are sending it inside for the start of the festivities.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nicholas. Look, it's a glorious night in Prospect. You can have an overview of the well-dressed patrons, some of the folks who will be winning awards here tonight. The legends are here, wives and partners here as well. So we are well decked out for this collaborative effort between Wipa and CWI, the stage on which most of this will be taking place to the background. So it's a really beautiful scene of celebration. Coaches are here. Manager of the West Indies team, Roy Lewis, just walked past. And we're expecting to have a wonderful evening culminating in a lovely meal. So it's something for you to stay tuned for. We have Casey Carty, one of the newest West Indies international players, going well in his white ball career. And we heard from Derek Murray, Sir Vivian Richards, the past greats, the legends of West Indies cricket. The atmosphere building. We are expecting the Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados to be present with us here this evening as well. So, who wins Cricketer of the Year? Female and the female. All of these prizes or awards will be given out. Shamar Joseph is here. Joel Garner, former West Indies great, is here as well. Of course, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, will be making her way into the hall as we begin more of the official proceedings of the second half of this contest. The Honorable Prime Minister, Mia Amor Motley. Everyone on their feet, and we will have the playing of the national anthem.
Isn't just played on the field, it's won in the palm of your hand.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies home series with fuller energy.
Welcome to Mount Gay, the birthplace of rum. We are proud to be the world's oldest running rum distillery. And with 300 years of distilling rum, you could say we know how to make history. We are born from the spirit of Barbados. And with every sip, you'll know exactly why. Ours is a rum unlike any other. It's distinctive, unique, and impossible to replicate. This is more than a rum. This is Mount Gay.
From Bridgetown, Barbados, this is the CWI Wipa Awards at the historic Wyndham Grand Barbados, Sam Lord's Castle. West Indies cricket is not just a game. It is a statement of who we are. Built on the backs of those who rose with nothing but talent, pride, and purpose. It was forged in defiance, refined through brilliance, and carried forward by generations who understood that every innings, every over meant something more. Tonight, we honor that tradition. The names that made history, the hands that lifted trophies, the men and women who gave the game its rhythm, and the players who now carry the weight of that legacy, reshaping it, reimagining it, yet always rooted in the same unshakable spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Welcome to the stage, this evening's hosts, former West Indies Vice Captain Darren Ganga, alongside television personality Caroline C.C. Reed.
Greetings once more, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Darren Ganga, and it's my absolute pleasure to co-host this evening's celebration. Cricket fans, legends, and Maroon faithful, this evening is everything we love about West Indies cricket. Flair, fire, and unforgettable moments. It promises to be an evening that every West Indian will be proud of. So lovely to also have my stunning teammates alongside me so we can take you through an unforgettable evening.
That's right, Darren. And once again, my name is Caroline C.C. Reed, and tonight is more than an awards show. It's a love letter to our warriors in maroon, the men and women who give their heart and soul to this beautiful game. This is their standing ovation.
And this year, we raise our bats a little higher to the icons who started it all. Yes, we're tipping our hats to the 1975 World Cup champions, captained by the legendary Sir Clive Lloyd, the pioneers who turned dreams into legacy. The Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados, and Sir Elliot D. Motley, Dr. Kishore Shallow, President of Cricket West Indies, and Mrs. Shallow, the directors of CWI, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Chris Daring and Mrs. Daring, and members of the CWI Secretariat.
Mr. Nixon McLean, Vice President of the West Indies Players Association, and Mrs. McLean, the directors of Wipa and members of the Wipa Secretariat, 1975 West Indies captain, legend Sir Clive Lloyd. With the members, we also have members of the 1975 World Cup West Indies team, Her Excellency Sonia Cope, Australia's High Commissioner accredited to Barbados, Mrs. Joy Adamson, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Sport, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, men in maroon, maroon warriors, and of course, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, valued sponsors, and everyone joining us across the globe.
It's definitely going to be a night to remember. Caroline, I don't know how familiar you are with this game, but do you follow this game?
I do. You know, back in Trinidad, where I grew up for a little bit, my grandfather loved cricket. Couldn't appreciate it at the time, you know, being a little child in the hot sun all day. And I don't know if you know this, but I've actually put on some pads and went into the net and faced a few balls. They were slow, but I still tried my hand at it. But I'll leave it to the experts that we have in the audience this evening. Well, to get us started, we call to the stage a man whose love for cricket is only matched by his vision for his future, a leader, a game changer, and a believer in legacy. Please join me in welcoming the Chief Executive Officer of Cricket West Indies, Mr. Chris Daring.
Honorable Mayor Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados, Dr. Kishore Shallow, President of Cricket West Indies, Mr. Nixon McLean, Vice President of the West Indies Players Association, members of the boards of Cricket West Indies and Territorial Cricket Boards, representatives from West Indies Players Association, legendary members of the 1975 World Cup winning team, present and former West Indies players, all special invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly an honor to welcome you to this year's CWI Wipa Awards Gala, where we gather to celebrate cricket's excellence. This year is a special and significant treat. We stand in awe in the presence of the West Indies team of 1975, who etched their names in history by lifting the very first Cricket World Cup. That final victory at Lord's and the many memorable moments, iconic moments along the way. Alvin Kalicharan's devastation of Dennis Lilly, the famous last wicket stand by Derek Murray and Sir Anderson Montgomery Everton Roberts, I love saying that name, were not just triumphs of talent, they were declarations that a small nation could command the world stage. And we must not forget that we saw those events on radio. I use that word deliberately. We saw it on radio. Because so brilliant was the elegantly detailed commentary of people like Tony Cozio and Joseph Reds Pereira. While Tony is sadly no longer with us, we are honored also to have here Reds to help us relive some of those glorious moments. Gentlemen, your contributions to cricket and Caribbean pride will never be forgotten. Your legacy lives on in every maroon cap, every boundary hit, every wicket taken, and every West Indian cheer heard in the Caribbean and around the world. Tonight we also turn the spotlight on our present and future, the men and women whose dedication, discipline, and performances stood out last year. To our nominees across all the categories, this night is also about you. You've weathered the pressure, risen to the occasion, and made your nations proud. On behalf of all of us at Cricket West Indies and the West Indies Players Association, congratulations. But as we honor, yes, good time to applaud. But as we honor both the past and the present, we must also acknowledge and confront the realities and what the future portends. International cricket is evolving at a frightening pace, as quick as Andy Roberts used to bowl. Franchise leagues, dynamic, lucrative, and global, are reshaping the landscape. Bilateral cricket, a West Indies versus Australia Test series, for example, once the cornerstone of the sport, is now under pressure, economically, structurally, emotionally. Players are being pulled in multiple directions. Governing bodies are struggling to maintain relevance and viability. And fans, many of whom still crave the purity of national or regional pride, are caught in a tug of war. Here in the Caribbean, we feel that tension acutely, and we understand the urgency. But we also understand it's going to take more than just patience. It will require unity, strategy, risk-taking, and bold decisions to not just navigate but thrive in this new frontier. The belief in our cricketing DNA and that fuels several important mission-critical projects are being undertaken by Cricket West Indies. One such endeavor is our quest for fair opportunity to qualify for the Olympic Games. As cricket makes a triumphant return to the Olympics starting in 2028 in Los Angeles, we will not allow our unique Caribbean identity to be a barrier. That's a good line to be applauded too, as well. The West Indies is a cricket team built on the backs of 15 proud nations and territories. While we don't compete as the West Indies at the Olympics, the athletes of our individual nations, from Arthur Wynne to Usain Bolt, from Obadele Thompson to Julian Alfred, have proven time and again that the West Indies belongs on the world's biggest stage. Indeed, we dominate. We are considered Olympic royalty and often cited as a standard of the Olympic ideal. But under current regulations, our cricketers, men and women who have carried the weight of regional pride, are shut out. Not because they aren't good enough, but because of how we're structured. That just isn't fair. Or as I used to say, that's just not cricket. We have proposed practical solutions to the ICC, internal playoffs between Olympic-recognized countries under our umbrella, or their direct participation in the Olympic qualification pathway. These ideas honor the structure of West Indies cricket while aligning with the core values of the Olympic movement: fairness, inclusion, and opportunity for all. The President and I will continue to drumbeat this cause at the ICC. But let me be clear, the might of our collective Olympic pedigree, the voices of our governments, our prime ministers, national Olympic associations, our players, our people, need to be fully heard. But we have a bolder and even more ambitious vision for the retooling of West Indies cricket than just the Olympics. As the sport gains momentum across North, Central, and South America, we must fortify and exploit our parental role as the only ICC full member country in our hemisphere, and foster that growth to retain our place of prominence. That is why tonight we are announcing our intention to spearhead the formation of the Federación de Cricket de las Americas, or FECA. I hope I got my Spanish right. A collaborative body to coordinate the already phenomenal growth of cricket across all the Americas. Already, and mainly thanks to the leadership and vision of our President, Dr. Kishore Shallow, and our Director of Cricket, Mr. Miles Bascom, you can see some glimpses into our future. In July, 2 teams from the United States are participating in our Rising Stars Under-19 tournament in St. Kitts and Nevis, as we collaborate development with our neighbors to the north. In the coming years, our male and female tournaments could include places like Brazil, where there are now 72,000 registered cricketers, mostly women, contracted professionally. This November, 4 senior Caribbean national teams will be selected to represent the West Indies at the Bolivarian Games in Lima, Peru, as we spread cricket's gospel southwards. Haley, practice up on your Spanish. Then in 2027, as a prelude to cricket's Olympic return, the Pan American Games will see its first cricket competition, where individual Caribbean countries with Olympic representation will participate. But it's not just our players that will benefit from growing cricket in the region and tapping into the commercial opportunities of these massive markets. As the sport and competitions grow in our hemisphere, we see increased demand and opportunities for our coaches, our administrators, our event organizers, and even our legends. Now, it is undeniable that West Indian countries seeking individual international glory on an Olympic or Pan-American stage might be seen as a dangerous game. But it is a far bigger risk to ignore the obvious need to encourage greater investment of national resources by our government and our people. And we are confident that the unseen, inexplicable, and unbreakable bond that forged us into the mighty West Indies in the first place, that same bond that withstood and indeed benefited from rabidly partisan affairs like Jamaica versus Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago versus Guyana, that bond that has survived cricket's many upheavals in the past, the Kerry Packer, so-called rebel tours to South Africa, you name them, that bond, our bond, will survive and indeed thrive in the new paradigm. So tonight, as we celebrate talent, perseverance, and progress, let us do so with hope and resolve. Because whether it's rebuilding a cricketing powerhouse, standing up for a place on the Olympic stage, or leading the Americas to cricket's nirvana, one truth remains. We are small, but we carry big dreams, big pride, and big responsibility, and we will not be left behind. Thank you, and enjoy this well-deserved evening of recognition and celebration.
Thank you very much to the Cricket West Indies CEO, Chris Derrin, and thank you very much for giving us some insight into the bold vision and a glimpse into the future. But tonight, it is about reflecting on the past year and the past years. And now for an interlude of entertainment, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this. You will enjoy this, I promise you. Performing for you a medley of classics, the very soulful and indomitable Kashida Dottin.
Something I can give in exchange of what you give to me. Read my mind and make me feel just fine when I think my peace of mind is out of reach. The scales are sometimes unbalanced, and you bear the weight of all that has to be. Hope you see that you can lean on me, and together we can calm the stormy sea. We love so strong and so unselfishly. They don't bother me, so I'm going to keep on giving you the best that I got, baby. They don't bother me, said I'm going to keep on giving you the best that I got, baby. Somebody understands me. Somebody gave us all to me. I stumbled my whole life through, always on my own. Now I'm free. My mind is wearing it, and I'm home with your Good night. If I could reach the stars, pour one down for you, shine it on my heart, so you can see the truth. That this love I have inside is everything it seems, yeah. But for now I find it's only in my dream. I could change the world. I would be the starlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world. If I could be king, even for one day, I'd take you as my queen. We'd have it no other way. Oh, and all the world, this kingdom we have made. Till then I'd be a fool, wishing for the day I could change the world. I would be the starlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world. I could change the world. I would be the starlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could, I'd change the world. Baby, if I could, I'd change the world. Baby, if I could, I'd change the world. I'll change the world. Thank you.
Still to come, presentation of the CG United Super 50 Men's Player of the Year and the CG United Super 50 Women's Player of the Year.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies Home Series with Fuller Energy.
Welcome to Mount Gay, the birthplace of rum. We are proud to be the world's oldest running rum distillery. And with 300 years of distilling rum, you could say we know how to make history. We are born from the spirit of Barbados. And with every sip, you'll know exactly why. Ours is a rum unlike any other. It's distinctive, unique, and impossible to replicate. This is more than a rum. This is Mount Gay.
Folks, good night. I was driving for that wonderful rendition there, Caroline.
Yes,
tonight.
her name is Kashida Doughton. She's from Barbados, and we were dancing and enjoying her talent and her music.
Indeed, it's a nice night to unwind and enjoy the excellence.
Okay, so as we continue to celebrate, party, and bring the energy, let's get this innings started. Well, first up, we honor consistency, excellence, and match-winning performances across this regional game. We begin with the West Indies Championship Player of the Year and Regional T20 Male Player of the Year. Presenting the first honor, please welcome Wayne Lewis, Secretary of Wipa.
Let's take a look now at our nominees.
Player of the Year are Mikhail Louis, Kevin Sinclair, Craig Brathwaite, Joshua Bishop, Jomel Warrican.
Okay, our first award of the evening.
And the winner is Mikhail Louis.
Carry me on paper. Sometimes I feel like a stranger. Don't know myself. Promise to be greater. I know it's better than later. So I'm going for everything I want. It's new energy.
Okay, congratulations, our first award giving out this evening. So it's time to turn up the tempo. T20 cricket, it's fast, it's fierce, and it's full of fireworks. Well, this award is presented by the former West Indies wicketkeeper batsman and West Indies Players Association treasurer, Mr. Ridley Jacobs. Well, can you take a guess who the Caribbean Premier League Regional T20 Male Player of the Year would be? Let's take a look at the nominees.
Nominees for the Regional T20 Player of the Year are Nicholas Buran, Johnson Charles, Jemron Hedmeyer, Andre Fletcher, Gudikesh Moti.
And the winner, Nicholas Puran. Of course, Nicholas Puran is not here. John Thomas will receive on his behalf.
Of course, a big congratulations to our first awardees, our first winners. 2 down and a lot more to come. So, of course, next we shift to one-day game, bringing official greetings. So we're going to skip that part. We have another event coming up. So greetings on behalf of the president of the West Indies Players Association. Please welcome Secretary of Wipa, Mr. Wayne Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. I'd wish to observe our protocols. However, I'd like to acknowledge Prime Minister, the Honorable Mayor Motley of Barbados. It's truly an honor to be here tonight, not only as the chair of the Cricket West Indies Wipa Awards Committee and secretary of the West Indies Players Association, but also on behalf of our president, Mr. Wavell Hines, who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight. I've been asked to share a few words on his behalf, and it's a privilege I carry with great pride. Wavell sends his heartfelt congratulations to all of tonight's nominees and winners. He also extends his sincere thanks to Cricket West Indies, our valued sponsors, and everyone who continues to invest in the lives, growth, and success of West Indies cricketers, past, present, and future. This evening is about more than awards. It's about recognizing the determination, resilience, and sacrifice that every player brings to the sport. Whether you're taking your first step at international level or closing another season of hard work, your effort matters, your story matters, and tonight we celebrate all of you. At Wipa, we remain committed to standing by our players, both in their careers on the field and in their lives beyond the game. Whether it's advocating for fair representation, offering wellness support, or helping players transition into new phases of their lives. Our mission is clear: to protect, empower, uplift the people who bring the game to life. Having served this organization and the game for many years, I've seen the evolution of West Indies cricket from many vantage points. That's why moments like these, where we pause to honor the hard work and talent across the region, are so meaningful. There is a place for every passionate, committed individual in this game. And events like these reminds us of the value each person brings to our cricketing community. As we honor our present, we must also pay tribute to our past. This year marks a historic milestone. 50 years since West Indies lifted their first global title at the 1975 Cricket World Cup. That victory was about far more than sport. It was a moment of regional pride and identity. To our super captain, Sir Clive Lloyd, and every member of that iconic team, we thank you. You laid the foundation, you inspired generations, and you proved to the world what West Indies cricket is made of. Your legacy lives on in every boundary hit, every wicket taken, and every young player who dares to dream. To Cricket West Indies, thank you for your ongoing partnership. We may approach the game from different angles, but our shared goal is clear: to build a system that nurtures and respects our players and strengthens the future of West Indies cricket. To our fans, coaches, support staff, families, and communities, you are the heartbeat behind every performance. Thank you for standing with us. And finally, to all of tonight's awardees and nominees, keep striving, keep shining, and continue to lift this region with every step you take on and off the field. On behalf of President Wavell Hines, Wipa Board, and our entire team, thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis.
Okay, so now we shift to the one-day game. 50 overs of finesse and firepower. Joining us to present the next set of awards, we welcome Enoch Lewis, Deborah Coriat-Patton, and Nixon McLean.
This first award is presented by CWI Independent Director Deborah Coriat-Patton. Let's start with the CG United Super 50 Men's Player of the Year.
The nominees for the CG United Super 50 Cup Player of the Year are Justin Graves, Amir Jangu, Lanico Boucher, Rakeem Cornwall, Marquino Minley.
Right. The winner, Justin Graves.
We welcome Mrs. Coriat Patton to the stage to make the presentation to Justin Graves.
Let me start that one here. Like how Martin Luther King would have started. My dream, my dream, my dream, my dream, my dream. Tell you my dream is believe my dream. Hear the most high in my sleep when me sleep. Tell you my goal, my goal, my goal. All of my goal is to reach my goal. If I have the life, put it on me headstone. Nobody no fi cry over me dead. Look at me.
Congratulations, Justin. Now, the women take the spotlight, bringing pride, power, and purpose to the pitch. This award is presented by former West Indies fast bowler and Wipa Vice President Nix McLean, who will be the CG United Super 50 Women's Player of the Year.
The nominees for the CG United Women's Super 50 Cup Player of the Year are Kaisia Knight, Shadeen Nation, Jermaine Campbell, Ashmini Murasar, Niall Latchman.
Okay, I have the envelope, and the winner is Kaisia Knight. Taking home Regional Super 50 Women of the Year.
I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal. Yeah, we're kinda important. For real. Oh yeah, I'm a big deal. And my friends are some big deals. Very, very, very important.
From explosive boundaries to game-changing brilliance, this award honors the standout star who set the T20 blaze alight with flair, fire, and fearless cricket. This award is presented by Cricket West Indies Cricket Committee Chair and CWI Director Enoch Lewis. Time to see who will be the T20 Blaze Player of the Year.
The nominees for the CWI T20 Blaze Player of the Year are Rashada Williams, Shabika Gajnabi, Andy Mangrew, Plafiana Millington, Aaron Dean.
Now is the time. The winner, Plafiana Millington.
This one is all about self-worth. So big up your chest and stand proud and don't matter about nobody. No man no more than no man on this earth. So whether you walk or you a drive car, I tell if you're white or black like that, me feel good in yourself, you're a star. Push up on no one and tell all the haters I'm a big deal. You're my friend, I'm a big deal.
Yeah, great to see the awardees who have been able to win their awards tonight from the shortest format. We will now get a chance to reflect on the longest format of the game and one of the stalwarts of West Indies cricket, the former West Indies captain, Craig Brathwaite. I'll spin you around like a top. You're accustomed to that sort of thing. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight, watching you over such a long period of your career. 98 test matches being honored here tonight. You led the West Indies in 39 of those. Only 3 West Indian captains have done it for more test matches. How do you feel about being honored and being here tonight?
Well, very, very, very honored and privileged to be here. As a little kid, you know, watching West Indies play, you know, we've never thought I would be here at this point and captaining West Indies as well. You know, very, very pleased, very happy, and very honored. You know, very honored to have represented West Indies, to be honest.
You're a man of very few words. You still have time ahead. So when you say very honored, you'll continue to be honored. If you look back at that journey of 39 test matches leading this team, you've had some remarkable victories in there. which one would you put top of the list? There was Bangladesh, there was Australia, there was Pakistan.
Well, it's a tough one because, you know, when I first started captaining, I captained 6 games before I got captain officially, and I lost all 6. So the series in Bangladesh, which was my first series win, was very emotional for me. But for me, you know, many times we played Australia, and we pretty much didn't have a chance in a few of those matches. And I always told myself I would love to be in a game where we actually beat Australia. So I think, you know, big Shamar Joseph, big Alzari Joseph, because we can't forget him for the next end. That game for me was right up there with one of the best.
I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the former West Indies captain, Craig Brathwaite. Still much more cricket, Test cricket, left in him. Thank you very much, Craig. We move on to another interlude of entertainment. And a man's voice who is soulful, much like me. He can take you to church, much like me, and then bring you back with a special tribute to our 1975 legends. This is John Yard.
I'm a drifting stranger in the land of the not so free, where there is never a real reason in a reckless society. A poor man can't have equality, or his children a bright tomorrow. And the toilet takes on the dying bones, 'cause he's got nowhere to go. So we must keep tumbling and pressing on, 'cause I have made my discoveries that man will never realize that he's his own greatest enemy. A poor man will always be afraid of a lion as he crosses on his domain. But man will always be cruel to man, and that way will never seem to change. So I must believe that there's something greater than me. To keep up the fight, I've just got to see that
there's something greater than. Keep your head out the clouds, you look and you see that there's something greater than. Jail me wrongfully and I'll still be free. Oh, yeah. So ja 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 ja. Say ja 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 ja. Man still tries to separate his own brothers with class and creed. Upper class, middle class, and the lower class, with the lower following lead. Separation shows like a sword to my eye, and it spreads out rapid and fast. Man on dying bed needs a donor's blood. Does he require a certain class? No, but I am just a wanderer, passing judgment and kicking fuss. 'Cause man will never realize that we all will turn back to dust. So I open my eyes and pray, ask the Father to forgive us all. 'Cause when we turn back to dying dust, but this texture remains the same. Oh, so I must believe that there's something greater than me. To keep up the fight, I've just got to see that there's something greater than. Take your head out the clouds and look and you'll see that there's something greater than. Jail me wrongfully and I'll still be free. Thank you.
Still to come, 1975 World Cup honors, presented by President of Cricket West Indies, Dr. Kishore Shallow.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies Home Series with Fuller Energy.
What rendition, John? Powerful lyrics. Caroline, I saw certain members of the audience swaying, so they're getting into the groove. That's great to see. Next to the stage, one of the most impactful figures shaping the future of West Indies cricket. Caroline, can you guess who this is?
I need a hint. Give me a hint.
I'll give you a cue. He hails from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
That's actually a pretty tough one.
Well, he is a visionary, a reformer, a true Caribbean statesman. Please welcome the president of Cricket West Indies, Dr. Kishore Shallow.
See how upset, huh? Allow me to adopt the protocol, but to extend heartfelt welcome to the Honorable Mia Amo Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados. I also acknowledge with the deepest respect Sir Clive Lloyd and the living legends of the 1975 West Indies team, the iconic 1975 West Indies team. This evening, we are humbled and deeply honored to be in your company and to celebrate your legacy. Over 3 years ago, in Grenada, during a quiet conversation with Sir Andy Roberts, he sowed the seed for this very celebration. Tonight is as much tribute to that inspiration as it is to the warriors, as to Sir Andy Roberts. I saw him earlier, and I want to thank him for planting this seed. In recent weeks, I found myself in quiet reflection, not just about cricket, but about our identity, our purpose, and the spirit that unites us under the West Indies flag, that maroon banner. West Indies cricket is not just a sport. West Indies cricket is not just a game. It is a movement, a voice, a declaration. I have never taken lightly the responsibility of serving as West Indies president, or Cricket West Indies president, as I'm sure none of my predecessors did. It is a role that demands resilience and conviction, even when the rewards are few and the road is rough. It is a role that is subject to utmost scrutiny, and it is undeniably a thankless one. But before me is the hopes of people, the dreams of young boys and girls across our region who still look to this game as a path, a promise, and a purpose. My friends, these hopes and dreams cannot be achieved by any one individual. It must be a shared responsibility. Last year, June, right here in Barbados, I vividly recall a visit to the home of who I consider my esteemed friend and someone I am proud to call a role model, Sir West Hall. In addition to his book, Answer the Call, we spoke about everything. And for those of you who know Sir West, when I say everything, you know I mean everything. But in that special exchange, in that special and quiet moment, I saw leadership not only as a historical achievement, but as a living responsibility. Sir West, whose name is rightly etched into cricketing history, reminded me without grand speech or fanfare what it truly means to lead with integrity, humility, and unwavering commitment to something that is greater than oneself. And though Sir West didn't play for that 1975 team, we see similar embodiment of all the greats of this era. We find men who carry the dignity of the region, not because it was given, but because it was earned. Because it was earned. A few days ago, CEO Chris and I attended the World Cricket Connect Forum at Lord's in London. The room was filled with ideas and visions about the evolution of the game. Cricket, they said, is the fastest growing sport in the world. Fueled by the rise of women's cricket and, of course, T20. But a point that struck me through that panel discussion, one particular panelist said, as the world races forward while we honor the past, we must prepare for the future. The challenges we face today in global cricket are enormous. The challenges we face today in West Indies cricket are equally daunting. But they also did not come overnight. And had we heeded earlier to calls, might we be standing in a better place today? And that's a question we have to ask ourselves. So West, I'm sure you recall, you remember, demanding players, retainers in the 1980s. What was it that you saw then that others didn't? And had we listened to you then, how different might our story be today? So as the records show, and we still hear the cry for improved infrastructure. Even up to this point, hardly any indoor facilities in the Caribbean. Why do you think that call has gone unanswered for so long? And Brian Lara, yes, Brian Lara, realized the inevitable turning point in our cricket in 1995, suggesting in his recent book, Chronicles of England, that we failed to pay attention to the progress of the game and how cricket was evolving. Why couldn't we appreciate the warning then, even in 1995? However, while we have faced these challenges in the past, we have also achieved considerable success, to our own detriment and the risk of complacency, some may argue. The record books bear witness: 6 senior ICC trophies, only behind Australia and India. Glorious victories like the Test triumphs at the Gabba, Craig spoke about it, in Pakistan only this year. Individual brilliance from Sir Gary Sobers, Sir Viv Richards, Brian Lara, to present day, Hayley Matthews, and I go further to say, Hayley is the greatest female cricketer to don the maroon. And that's my opinion. And so the West Indies have gifted cricket to the world in the form of archery, artistry, genius, and audacity. That cannot be taken away from us. But let me be clear. While we are not in ICU, as some may attempt to make it seem, West Indies cricket is on a turbulent ride. The path ahead demands clarity, courage, and collective action. It requires a united force. And so, maybe a good reset point to start now is to ask the question, what does West Indies cricket mean to us? What does it mean to you? Ask yourself that question. And for the greats of 1975, it meant something bigger than runs on wickets. It was undoubtedly more than heavy bank accounts. It meant liberation, it meant revolution, and it meant standing tall in a world that sought to keep us small. When Sir Clive Lloyd, when his men conquered in 1975, they did not just win a trophy, they reclaimed our voice. Next year, we mark 100 years since we became the 4th member of the Imperial Cricket Conference. Yes, the Imperial Cricket Conference, a name that reminds us exactly where the powers once lay. But by 1975, our team had seized the narrative. They didn't ask for permission. They played with fire, pride, and unity, and forced the world to respect who we were. And now, half a century later, we stand at another defining moment. The question is not whether we rise again. The question is, do we have the will to rise again? Do we allow our legacy to fade under the weight of excuses? or do we rally again to defend what was on through blood, sweat, and struggle? I would say this: there are no handouts coming our way from the rest of the world. Chris won't tell you that, Prime Minister Motley won't tell you that, and I certainly won't fool you. But that is fine. That is absolutely fine, because we were never a people asking for handouts or begging for favors. We learned early that we have to fight for what is ours. That is the West Indian spirit. That is the West Indian spirit. And so importantly, we have to acknowledge and appreciate the evolution of the game. We must evolve, and we must do so at an accelerated rate so that we can catch up with our counterparts. That is the frank reality. I would go even further to say that we each must understand the part and the role that we have to play. My fellow cricket administrators, even as volunteers, which most of you are, we have to raise our game off the field. To the territorial boards, I urge you to lead by example and optimize the limited resources at your disposal. West Indies Players Association, Wipa, we are also challenging you to expand your membership and to play a crucial role in players' commitment to West Indies cricket. And players, of course, you have your responsibility as well. The onus is on you to carry the weight on the field and to defend our legacy with pride. It will be remiss of me to ignore the reality of franchise cricket. Yes, opportunities may arise for you to earn handsomely, and I'm speaking to the players. And while we are happy to celebrate the financial success that you may enjoy, it cannot come at the expense of the very institution that built you up and provided you with the opportunities. And so, I urge you, the players, to be conscious, to be appreciative of those giants before you, and the boys and girls who will come after you. And I say to you, the price of your dignity will never be worth discount on your legacy. To those who continue to fight for the Maroon, our captains and the other players, Azari and others who carry the flag across all formats, we say a special thank you for the sacrifices you continue to make. To our coaches and support staff, you are the invisible backbone of our mission. Darren and your team, thank you. Prime Minister Motley, you have been nothing but a true champion for our region over the years. And this is not just for cricket. But now more than ever, I say to you that we need you. We need you and the regional governments to come on board with Cricket West Indies on the front of International Cricket Council, to fight that battle with them, to ensure they understand what is rightfully ours. We need you not just as policy makers, but as partners and voices of the cause. And I have no doubt, as usual, in you we could find a friend in cricket, and always your support. I am quite sure that no one in this room would argue that it's time we take our place in cricket where it's belongs. We put cricket where it rightfully belongs in the region, in classrooms, in communities, in our national identities. I was recently amazed to learn that Christopher Columbus is still taught in our schools, but not Sir Frank Worrell, the Nelson Mandela of cricket, or as C.L.R. James said, the soul of West Indian unity. Amazing. We simply need to teach our boys and girls the history of West Indies cricket. That must be taught in schools. It also does not escape me that there's a narrative of the board wanting to run cricket independently and in isolation. Our board, the West Indies Cricket Board, or the Cricket West Indies, whatever you want to call it. This fallacy needs to be a thing of the past. The board cannot advance West Indies cricket on its own. Simply can't. Alone, we can achieve little, but together, we can achieve so much. And I think I speak with conviction on behalf of every board member in this room that we want a collaborative effort across the region. And I will say, there's a time for criticism, and there's a time for unity. The time for unity is now. The armchair critics, and there are many, who continue to demonize and weaponize this institution must never forget that West Indies cricket is not about any one individual. It's about a shared interest and a shared responsibility for all our people of the Caribbean. Allow me again to reference Brian's book. And he wrote, the 70s and the 80s were about showing the world that when we are strong and united, we are simply untouchable. That is the truth that we must live again. And so tonight, we honor our giants. Those present, Sir Viv Richards, Lancelot Gibbs, Collis King, Derek Murray, Sir Andy Roberts, Alvin Kaliteran, and the others, some couldn't make it here, and of course, the incomparable captain, Sir Clive Lloyd. We also salute those who have passed, Roy Fredericks, Keith Boyce, and team manager at the time, Sir Clive Walcott. You are not just cricketers, but you are revolutionaries. In addition to the medals that you will collect this evening, today at our board meeting, we took a decision that on behalf of the entire board, we are going to give every single member of that team $10,000 US. And mind you, this is certainly not the value that you have brought to cricket, but this is just a token of our appreciation. I want to say thanks to management for agreeing to that in a tough financial year, Chris. And also to CPL, who agreed to support us with this gesture. But let me say before I end that we cannot stop there. With deliberate purpose, the intention is to engage the West Indies Retired Foundation and Wipa to request a meeting aimed at charting a structured and sustainable approach to supporting our cricketing legends. All former players, they give us pride, they give us identity, and they give us hope. We must stand with them during and after their playing days. And to the awardees tonight, congratulations. This is not just a recognition of your achievement, but a charge to continue leading with purpose. Our past is legendary, our present demanding, but if we remember who we are, our future can still astonish the rest of the world. West Indies cricket is alive, my friends. We are alive. and with unity, with purpose and belief, we will protect and elevate our legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to rally with us, now and forevermore. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Magnificent hook shot out of the ground. Superb shot there by Lloyd. The West Indian crowd on their feet.
Being captain of the West Indies is always going to be difficult. I mean, you have 14 islands, different cultures, different backgrounds. And to bring them together, that would be your greatest triumph, to get them thinking as one, wanting to win.
And that's hoisted away into the grandstand. Great shot again.
We had all those youngsters now coming through.
He's middled that one all right.
And I think that gave our cricket that lift that was needed.
And his bowler. Bowled him, and that, I should think, is just about the end for Australia.
It is a very significant moment for us, in the sense that we weren't the favourites, really.
And he's out. That's a great stumping. What a way to end the match.
To win the World Cup when you were not the favourites, it's obvious that that was something that we will always remember, and West Indians throughout the world were quite happy about that occasion.
And it goes to this magnificent cricketer and how well he and his team have deserved it.
When we won the World Cup, we realized that you were up with the big boys and such. You were now playing in a different level, and it gave us that lift that was needed.
Before the world knew the full firepower of West Indies cricket, a group of men stepped onto the global stage in 1975 and rewrote history with flair, courage, and unshakable belief in their talent. They didn't just win the first ever ICC Cricket World Cup, they ignited a legacy. And tonight, we honor those trailblazers, the pioneers who lifted the entire region with pride. We now honor the 1975 World Cup champions with a special presentation by President Dr. Kishore Shallow.
Now, these handcrafted awards are 25-year-old aged and cured Barbados mahogany, designed and crafted by award-winning artist Reginald Medford. Each sculpture was made specifically for each of the awardees and is a representation of their individual identity and contribution to the game. We understand that the artist is also one of the most treasured in Barbados and also praised by Prime Minister Motley herself.
For 10 long years, we ruled the cricket world. Now the rule seems coming to an end. But down here, just a chink in the armor.
Okay, I believe we have ushers, but at this time we do invite the members of the winning 1975 team to the stage. We're going to have a photo opportunity, and President Dr. Kishore Shallow will be making the presentations to you. So we do have some ushers in the audience, and we do invite all of those who are in attendance this evening, and we're honored to have you in attendance this evening to make your way to the stage. We're going to have a photo opportunity and present you all with very deserving awards this evening.
What a moment this is. We welcome Derek Murray first, Lance Gibbs. Not a lot of spin in that final. Giants indeed. Lance Gibbs. Congratulations to you, sir. And there is the lefty, Alvin Kalicharan. To be followed by Sir Andy Roberts. We now have Collis King. To be followed by the Master Blaster himself, Sir Vivian Richards. Congratulations, sir. And the captain himself will come forward, Sir Clive Lloyd. Two-time World Cup winning captain, 1975, 1979. Scored a century in that said final in 1975. Led his troops, lifted the title. That memory forever etched in our minds. We now invite everyone to come forward to take a photo with the president.
So the treasury broke and they say that we second jamming. So no foreign countries really start migrating. They lose faith in the country, they say we go on down the drain. They say no more could we see happy times again. But the will to recover in my people like have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talk in nonsense. But the majority of we decide we're not going to run. Because now is the time to show we patriotism. For we consolidate.
We did say a standing ovation kind of night, and thank you to our audience for delivering once again. So the tributes do continue. We now invite to the stage award-winning Barbadian fine artist, Shane Eastman, who's actually the grandson of the late Antiguan cricketer Sir Sidney Walling, to join us as West Indies cricket legend Sir Clive Lloyd makes a special presentation to the president of Cricket West Indies. This gesture, made on behalf of the heroes of the 1975 team, expresses their heartfelt appreciation for the hosting of this evening's commemorative event. Please welcome artist Shane Eastman. And we welcome back once again Sir Clive Lloyd. And do invite President Dr. Shallow back on the stage for Sir Clive to make the presentation.
Special piece to keep, of course. I just think back of 1975 and what it would be like to sit in that dressing room with all those personalities. As a former player myself, that's probably an education in itself.
Well, I would say the brief moment that we were all kind of huddled on the stage, I heard a little bit of that banter, and the guys, they still have, I see some laughter there. I did hear, so I see that they still have their sense of humor and camaraderie, so it's wonderful to see that there's still a team after all these years, and brotherhood for sure.
Now let's give them another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Our champion 1975 World Cup winning team. Now, let's rewind the clock. The year, 1975. The day, June 21st. The stage, Lords. The stakes, the first ever Cricket World Cup final. The West Indies, bold, brilliant, and ready to conquer. At 50 for 3, a man named Clive Lloyd walked to the crease and carved his name into history.
What bad luck that was. Played a magnificent shot, tread on his wicket. And that's it, go behind, and there's a flick. Not the greatest of shots.
It's a good catch by Rodney Marsh. The new batsman coming in now is Clive Lloyd, the West Indian captain.
So you have to remember that the West Indies team were batting, I think it was 50 for 3. And he came in and played with such authority and dominance.
Magnificent hook shot out of the ground. Superb shot there by Lloyd. And really hammered that square before. And there's no way you can bowl to a man like Clive Lloyd when he's in this sort of form. Away to mid-wicket. 4 more. He's found the gap so beautifully. That's
And I've always said that if you put in the effort, that you will do well. And the only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary. So you've got to put in the work. And if you put in the work, you will be rewarded.
And what a delightful exhibition this has been by Clive Lloyd. You couldn't really wish to see a better 100 than that in any form of cricket.
He made a century in 1975 of 80-odd deliveries. We're talking about 50 years ago.
And he's bowling, and they possibly think that the cup is now theirs. That's a critical wicket there for Clive Lloyd to take.
Who we are as West Indian cricketers and the style of play that we have is pretty much an extension of what we saw from Sir Clive Lloyd in that 1975 World Cup.
Sir Clive was an exceptional leader, and the legacy he left, so Vivian Richards, Richie Richardson, all the guys down to myself, we try to follow.
Oh, there we go. And the final day at Lord's. What a day in history this was. The voice in the commentator's box was none other than Joseph Reds Pereira and Tony Cozier. Well, at that time, I wasn't born just yet, but I have heard countless stories of how the entire Caribbean listened, ears glued to the radio, ball by ball.
First runs of the day by Fredericks. Oh, well, what bad luck that was.
We'd lost a couple of early wickets. I think it was 3 we had lost. And I was left with Rohan Kanai.
Nicholson hook shot out of the ground.
Key one to Clive Lloyd. Kanai has broken the hole.
And we sort of repaired the situation. We held on, we batted, we added 140 odd or something like that.
You couldn't really wish to see a better 100 than that in any form of cricket. What a glorious shot. Up goes the hat, it's 50 now to Rohan Kanai. It's the end of the West Indian innings. Their score standing on 291 for 8.
It wasn't an easy run as such because the Australians don't give up that easily.
It's a short one, a great hook shot there by Alan Turner. And a terrific shot. And very close, yes, he's run him out.
This must be a run out here. He must be out. Richards again. Ball him, and that, I should think, is just about the end for Australia.
And he's out. That's the next number. What a way to end the match.
But to beat them in the final, it was wonderful because to win the first World Cup is just something that you dream of.
To listen to the stories and the impact that a West Indies cricket match had. It created a buzz. It made families happy, it made people happy, it made so many West Indians all across the world feel a sense of pride.
I think it was a benchmark for our cricket. It's inspiration for all of us, whoever wanted to play this game. And I think that laid the platform for what we're trying to achieve and the legacy we're trying to follow and build for our own.
Yes, round of applause for that West Indies team of 1975. And, it's such a great night of celebration as I look all around this elegantly dressed room. I look to my left, and if there was a prize for the best dress, it'll be hard to pick. I see the West Indies female cricketers there. Krishma Ramarak dressed elegantly. Janilia Glasgow in that hat. That is a winner. No one tops that. Shakira Selman walked in here, and I'm seeing a lot of pace. I saw Fidel Edwards here. And look, sitting right here, Joel Big Bird Garner, don't get up. I want to be the tallest man in the room for once in my life. 1979 World Cup winner, 5 for 38 at Lord's, Joel Big Bird Garner. Joel, turn this way for me. Let the camera see that handsome face and just give me a snippet into that performance in the final. 1979, what do you have to say?
We've had good times, and I think that the fun of it is to have and remain friends with all the people that you've played with. Not only admiring the ones before you, but also playing with them and then, bringing on some of the youngsters after you.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, and that's saying a lot about Joel. He was the tallest of them all. Let's move on now to another performance coming up next, a voice that equals parts power and poetry, much like West Indies cricket batting. We know you're not going to be disappointed. With her voice, it will take you to an unbelievable height somewhere over the rainbow. Please welcome Sheehan.
Still to come, West Indies ODI Player of the Year, West Indies Women's ODI Player of the Year, and West Indies Men's Test Player of the Year.
Welcome to Mount Gay, the birthplace of rum. We are proud to be the world's oldest running rum distillery. And with 300 years of distilling rum, you could say we know how to make history. We are born from the spirit of Barbados. And with every sip, you'll know exactly why. Ours is a rum unlike any other. It's distinctive, unique, and impossible to replicate. This is more than a rum. This is Mount Gay.
Get ready for the Fuller Energy Home Series Tour. The action heats up with the West Indies women versus South Africa women from June 11th to June 23rd. Then the West Indies men will clash against Australia's men from June 25th to July 28th. The energy keeps pumping with the men in maroon against Pakistan men from July 31st to August 12th. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today on windiescricket.com. West Indies Home Series with Fuller Energy.
Great to be back here in this gala celebration, collaboration between the West Indies Players Association and Cricket West Indies, celebrating, of course, the 50th anniversary of Sir Clive Lloyd's team that won that World Cup back in 1975, in addition to reflecting on the last year and awardees getting their awards. We move forward now. It's now our distinct honor to invite a Caribbean powerhouse to the stage, a leader whose love for the region is as fierce as her love for cricket. From the Parliament to Kensington Oval to the world, she reminds us that cricket is more, much more than sport. It's our soul, our story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Amor Martin.
What a right song and a good song to start with. Good night, everyone. Distinguished guests all, but above all else, the icons of West Indies cricket. I want to first and foremost salute Cricket West Indies and the West Indies Players Association for this evening. Very often, milestones pass, and we reflect on them with a statement or simply to say that, you know, it's 50 years, you know, it's 60 years. But to bring together this evening a team of West Indian giants, West Indian heroes, and to allow us to say thank you yet again must be celebrated by us all. And I would like to ask everyone other than the 1975 team, as well as the other Cricket West Indies legends, for all of the rest of us to stand in this room and to pay them the tribute that they deserve. Thank you very much. I asked you to do that because the older I get, the more I realize that we take so much for granted. And that we need sometimes to show the way and to speak to the way. And in a very real sense, I want to thank Chris and Kishore for their speeches and to thank them for removing from me the obligation of being hard on policy tonight. But it is important that you understand why I'm here, and you will forgive me at the end of the ceremony for leaving because I have a constituency event to which I was committed before. But when I understood when they came, Chris and Kishore came to visit me a few weeks ago, what was being planned, and that Barbados was being given the honor to be the location from which to say thank you and to celebrate these giants of West Indies cricket, giants of West Indies civilization, I had a duty to be present. When I delivered the Frank Worrell Memorial Lecture a few years ago, I indicated then that I was but a 9-year-old at primary school in Belleville, at Maryville Preparatory, or as you would call it, Miss Carrington School. And on a Wednesday afternoon, just as we were in lunch, we had a little transistor radio. And when we realized what was happening, we hid away from the rest and listened, Mr. Murray, Ambassador Murray, Sir Andy, in that last wicket partnership that allowed us to see Sir Clive do what he did in the finals. Because without that, we would not have qualified. I carry you back there with me because I understood as a young girl who the giants of this region were. And I understood that we belonged to something great, and that we could do things even when people didn't expect it of us. Sir Clive reminded me just now that the majority of the team that he led on that occasion was 20, in the early 20s. And I then reminded him that one of the things that we seem to have forgotten, because as fervently as I listened to that game, I remember finding excuses to stay up at night months later when West Indies was playing Australia in Australia. And when we got the beating of our lives 5-1. And that is forever stuck in my memory. Because thereafter, as Sir Clive would recall again, a person at one point who reached the age of 17 years old as a human being, a West Indian, would never have known what it was to have seen the West Indies team lose. An unparalleled achievement in West Indian civilization. And some may say, what is the connection? The connection really is how do we face circumstances, whether in our favor or whether adversity, and remain focused and do the task, working together. And this is an example not just for the cricket teams of this region, it is actually an example for the world and for this Caribbean civilization today more than ever. I am sure that you did not expect the world to be in as tumultuous a place tonight, the 22nd of June, 2025, a date that regrettably might go down in history for all of the wrong reasons. But as you as cricketers know, we don't get to choose the pitch sometimes that we have to play on. We have to get up and play. And we have to use our head, but above all else, we must work in pursuit of a common purpose, unified at all times. How many times tonight have we heard that this team distinguished itself because it was stronger when they realized that playing together could give them that unity? 5 runouts. Team playing together at its best. Sir Clive, coming in with 3 wickets down, could easily have buckled. Never did. I ask us to use this inspiration because, you know, there is a tendency to sometimes use legacy as a trophy, not recognizing the limitations of legacy. Legacy is fuel, but it is not a trophy. Legacy is inspiration, but it cannot define all that you are because it is past tense by very definition. I ask us tonight to recognize, just as I did when I spoke at the Frank Worrell Memorial Lecture, that there are a few things that still we must confront and come to deal with. I spoke then of our cricket governance, and while there are efforts to be able to move forward apace, the truth is we have not yet reached where we need to reach. And if we cannot get our governance right, then everything else that flows from it will not fall into line. We spoke then about the importance of investing in the future of grassroots cricket, working to attract others to the game, because we already start with a population deficit. In Test cricket, only New Zealand has a population approximate to us. All of the others have a bigger pool from which to draw the talent. So that if we have a small population and then we are not maximizing the extent to which we are digging deep down into our communities to draw out the talent for the fastest growing sport in the world, the second largest sport in the world, then something must be fundamentally wrong with us. Tomorrow, my Minister of Sports, along with Courtney Brown, will launch a block T20 tournament deliberately designed to create opportunities, yes, for substantive activity at the community level, but equally designed for us to identify talent and to be able to ensure that where talent is identified, that we can find a way of getting that talent on a pathway so that they can see that there are opportunities in this ecosystem of cricket. And that brings me to the other point that I made, which is that cricket must be a smart, sustainable business. And the reality is that it is not just the players on the field, it is not just the coaches and trainers, it is not just the scorers or the groundsmen, it is not just the commentators and Mr. Pereira. we welcome you and salute you. And wish that Tony Cozy was here with you still. And our very own Donna Simmons. It's not just the commentators. It is the entrepreneurs who will not only and must not only look at the franchising of cricket, but also the other business opportunities that flow. And in that vein, I use this opportunity yet again to throw out a sprat that hopefully, Mr. Deering, you and cricket legends will find a way of merging idea with capital to create that brand of tourism product that ought still to reflect the best and strongest of who we are, the legends, the cricket legends of the Caribbean, so that whether you are in Barbados or Jamaica or Trinidad or St. Vincent or St. Lucia or wherever, that we have hotels branded as cricket legends with a franchise fee coming back to the legends, and with every aspect of a hotel operation, from the menus to the paintings to the decor to everything, reflecting the game of cricket which the West Indies has distinguished itself globally on. But we are not making the connection to make the money to move beyond where we are. We spoke then, in addition to those three things, I spoke to the question of women's cricket. And Kishore, I salute you for removing the distinction in travel, the disparity in travel for men and women in cricket in this region. But I simply say to you, as Billie Jean King taught us, equal pay is equal pay. I would not know how to be a prime minister as the first woman, receiving the same pay as a male prime minister, to not make that point for the benefit of those in this room. And then finally, the all-embracing fact that cricket is our culture. And this 1975 team, in the history of the post-independence era of the Caribbean, has done more to unify us as a people than many, many other activities that we have pursued together. But yet, as you said, it's not being taught in our schools. And our children do not understand that which I felt as a proud 9-year-old when this moment occurred. And that they equally must learn about the January 1976, 75-76 trumping in Australia. And why? In the words of Rudyard Kipling, if we can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, that will define us, not just on the field, but in all that we do. I want tonight to ask those responsible for the Cricket West Indies to take that simple poem by Rudyard Kipling. I was tempted to read it. And because of its words and because of its brevity, I believe that it ought to be something that is instilled in all of our cricketers, because it is an approach to life. If you can walk talk with crowds and keep your virtue and walk with kings and not lose the common touch, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and loss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. There are so many lessons in here. And what I'm really saying is that we have a responsibility as leaders, as people of the Caribbean, to ensure that those who walk the path to bring honor and glory to us are given every opportunity to be the best that they can be. And being the best that they can be is not divided only on what they do on the field, but is in making them and giving them all of the opportunities that they need. I want to address the similarity very quickly about where we find ourselves when you talk about the complexity of contracts and franchises versus national and regional representation. And I want to do so because it's no different from what we are facing globally as well. The nation state as we know it, in most instances, 2/3 of the nation states of the world have a smaller balance sheet than the majority of multinational corporations who strayed across the globe, sometimes with impunity. And we have to find a way of balancing the two. I understand fully the need for people to maximize their earning power, and they should be so encouraged. But life without purpose doesn't mean anything. And to that extent, money will come and money will go. But purpose is who defines us. Purpose is what defines us. Purpose is what gives us cause. Purpose is what gives us commitment. Purpose is what allows us to dig deep and to rise high. And what more than anything else we need in this region is to be able to find that common purpose again. And if we have among us a group of people capable of being the best and the greatest in the world, then we have a responsibility from small right up to where they are to carry them, to nurture them, and to give them all that they need physically, mentally, financially, to be able to be the best that they can be, because we know what it does in unlocking the spirit of this country and this region. For us, I have often said that in Barbados, the story of Barbados is the story of cricket, and the story of cricket is the story of Barbados. For how else do you explain such a small island being able to produce so many on a small rock? Show me another 166 square miles, any part on the planet Earth, that in this concentration has been able to do what we have done. But even we have to be able to refocus and to go back to the basics in terms of community, village, and good old BCL cricket. I give you the assurance that across this region and as chairman of CARICOM as I speak tonight, not just Prime Minister of Barbados, that we will continue to provide this support. The biggest battle, of course, coming up being that of the ICC and the IOC with respect to how we present ourselves at the Olympics. We have already been made a victim in too many instances of poor negotiating. And we have now to summon the will to pull the best that we can muster, both regionally and the best that money can buy, to pull together to make the case for defending our right to retain the integrity of West Indies cricket, which will celebrate that century in the same year of 2028 that the Olympics will admit cricket to the pantheon of games to be played. So that we have purpose and cause to work together in earnest to be able to ensure that we too can remind the world why these people in these islands continue to rally and rally and rally. Because deep down, we know we have it within us. And just as every mountain peak has valleys, we can find the peak again. But I say to us, and I say to all who now have the honor of carrying the torch for us, It is trite for us to tell you over and over, you know how much you mean to us? You know how much you stand for? It may be trite, but it is true. And I want each of you to understand that more than anything else, that song that played at the beginning, you got to push a little harder, push a little harder. Because just as that team fell down in 1975 to 76 against Australia, it rose like a mighty colossus and inspired so many people from every part of this region, not just to play cricket, but to do things that others defied and said, you cannot get it done. And we said, watch us. And today, we still say, watch us. But because we are human, we know that we have ups and downs. I share with you, as I watched last night the bombing take place in Iran, and I reflected that as Prime Minister, I have only known adversity. And every time we think we're about to turn the corner, something happens. And if, in truth and in fact, the least that we face is the closure of the Straits of Hormuz, it will still have a significant impact on all that we do and all that we buy here in this region. And if it goes beyond that, it will have an impact on us all on so many things. I give you and share that example with you as I close, because I want you, the players, the female and the male players of West Indies cricket, to know that it is not where you stand, but it is always, always how you rise when adversity hits you and where you get up and how you play the next shot. And if you can do that for us, then I believe, honestly, that we will rise to the top again. As sure as the joy of that 1975 team spread through this region then, it will spread through this region again. And Sir Clive, let me not mince my words. In this year, last year, when you were justifiably but delayed in coming, received the Order of CARICOM for your extraordinary leadership, for you have displayed to people across all sectors what leadership looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like. And even today, 50 years after that moment, you walk with a dignity that inspires the rest of us to know that in your presence, we must stand tall and always rise to the occasion. To Sir Vivian, I say simply to you that yours was a class that was special. And in you, every young Caribbean man felt that they not only could be the best, but they could look the best and move the best. You did it with swagger. You did it with style. And I can go on, but let me remind others in this room who are young that as we celebrate the 1975 team, let us not forget that Sir Gary Sobers and others in the 60s showed us what it was to start to take down the world. And tonight, I'm sorry that Sir Gary can't be with us, but with him, he is and will always be our national hero, the right excellent Sir Gary Sobers. So my friends, from this evening you have heard serenaders who reflected a level of commitment to excellence that it would be impossible for me to leave this stage without saluting the excellence in the artistry that you heard from this stage tonight from our performers. You could almost say that on this stage we saw from spinners and seamers to singers. And on this stage we saw batsmen to bandsmen of class. From this stage, I want you to leave Barbados and to recognize that we go from cricket to crop over to Carifesta. I expect to see you at each of them. God bless you, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Prime Minister Motley. Always an education listening to you. But don't go too far. We'd like you to present a couple of awards for us. Back to the brilliance on the field. Electrifying, unpredictable, unstoppable. T20 cricket is the game's wildest ride. And our West Indian men and women sure know how to light it up. Tonight, we honor the T20 standout stars. Both award categories will be presented by the Honorable Mia Amor Motley.
And now it's time to see who will be the West Indies Women's T20 Player of the Year.
The nominees for the Women's T20 Player of the Year are Hayley Matthews, Shemaine Campbell, Chanel Henry, Affy Fletcher, Karishma Ramarak.
And the winner is, not surprisingly, Hayley Matthews.
And let me say, I could not be prouder than to have to give this trophy.
Another round of applause for Hayley Matthews. And now onto the West Indies Men's T20 Player of the Year. Here are the nominees.
The nominees for the T20 Player of the Year are Rolfman Powell, Nicholas Puran, Brandon King, Alzari Joseph, Akil Hussain.
And the T20 Player of the Year goes to Alzari Joseph.
No, 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 no weapon, no weapon, no weapon, no weapon now. Boy, yo, 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 no weapon, no weapon, no weapon. They have one big smile on their face, you know, but the heart have not one good intention towards me. I know they don't love me. They want to see me fail, you know, and any little thing I do, they're so quick to judge me. But to see them there, too damn bad mind and evil, evil. I swear I can't stand them people, people. Always playing thing, but they hard to black.
Yeah, great cricketing royalty. I'm amongst cricketing royalty here this evening. I'm so privileged. So many kings of Calypso cricket in here. It's remiss of me right there. Every time I put it on social media, the Queen, Hayley Matthews, just there. Round of applause for the West Indies women's captain. I call her the Queen of Caribbean cricket. And now we have the man who has assumed the throne, Ruston Chase, the new West Indies captain, will be leading the team in the Fuller Energy series against Australia in a few days' time. Ruston, as you take on board this responsibility for the first time of leading a test team, the West Indies test team, and here in Barbados, how do you see this opportunity?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, I'm privileged and honored to have this great job. I mean, all these greats before me came and did the job, so it's heartwarming for me. It's a proud moment. I mean, when I first got the news and then I saw the Honorable PM, she had a big write-up on me on the social media. My mom was more elated than me to even see it. So it was a proud moment for me. I mean, I'm looking forward to the challenge. I know it's going to be a tough job, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
I can't tell you how special it is for me to be looking a West Indies captain straight in the eye. It doesn't often happen. You've had a career with a number of high points, a few challenges, 5 test match hundreds very early in your career. What have you learned from your journey so far?
Yeah, well, I learned mostly to believe in yourself. I mean, as you said, I've had some ups and downs, but it's not about how you fall and stuff like that. It's about how you rise back up, like the PM said. So I don't really like to put it so much in a way that I don't like to what's the word I'm looking for? I don't like to frown on it too much. I like to just look at the positives, take that positive outlook on things, even though I might have a bit of failure, because, as I said, it's about how you rise from adversity and stuff like that. I mean, and cricket is something that I love. I always want to play, so despite whatever may happen, I always want to continue and just try to rise from it and be the best that I can be.
Continue living the dream.
Thank you very much.
Ruston Chase, the new West Indies Test match captain, ladies and gentlemen, and we continue, obviously, with this Gala Awards ceremony. It has been beautiful here tonight.
And now, it's time to celebrate consistency, courage, and brilliance on the international stage. First up, the powerhouse of the 50-over game, Chief Executive Officer Chris Daring and President Dr. Kishore Shallow will present the final awards.
Indeed, we are here already. President Shallow will now present the category West Indies Women's ODI Player of the Year. She's bold, she's focused, and she's delivered for the Maroon Warriors time and time again. The question is, who will it be?
The nominees for the Women's ODI Player of the Year are Hayley Matthews, Stephanie Taylor, Chanel Henry, Zeta James, Affy Fletcher.
The West Indies Women's ODI Player of the Year goes to Hayley Matthews.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cast in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down.
Now, one-day cricket demands grit, flair, and consistency. And this next award celebrates the player who brought it all, match after match. From calculated innings to game-changing spells, he stood tall in maroon and delivered when it mattered most.
As Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Chris Daring makes his way to present this award, can you guess who will be the West Indies Men's ODI Player of the Year?
The nominees for the ODI Player of the Year are Shea Hope, Shafane Rutherford, Casey Carty, Gudikesh Moti, Alzari Joseph.
And now, the winner is Shea Hope.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down. Don't fight me down. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cast in a minute. So don't hold me down.
Congratulations once again to all of our winners this evening. And now from white ball wizardry to red ball resilience, the longest format reveals a cricketer's true character. And this next award goes to a player whose skill, patience, and a passion has stood tall.
And for the final award, the moment we've all been waiting for, West Indies Men's Test Player of the Year. Would you kindly do the honors, President Shallow? Let's see who the nominees are.
The nominees for the Test Player of the Year are Kavem Hodge, Craig Brathwaite, Jaden Seals, Shamar Joseph, Alzari Joseph.
And the winner is Shamar Joseph.
A new day dawning, in fact, in calling. No time for stalling. Let's go, let's go. Wake up everyone who's sleeping. Meet me on the road. New inspiration, no content.
West Indies full of energy all over England, all over Europe, all over the world. Big up West Indies.
West Indies is full of energy.
West Indies full of energy.
West Indies full of energy.
Who's your team?
West Indies.
Who is your favorite player?
Seals. West Indies! Come on!
Good night, everybody. Can we make some noise for the West Indies, please? All the proud West Indians right now, make some noise. We're here celebrating right now. No noble thoughts brought us here to this region, but through it all, we have risen above. Through our flannel nights, flashing their willow and leather. How we feeling right now? Can we stand for the anthem? This Caribbean nation is rising fast. A sunbeam cutting through a clouded past. Our passion fills the world like a raging fire. As the sun shines, you know we must take it higher. Let every voice be raised. Everybody give praise. Forever rally, rally round the West Indies. No one forever more. Now I know we dress up nice tonight, but could we party a little bit? You know West Indian people love to party, right? There we go. And we full of energy, and we full of love. Question. Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? West Indies is part of all our legacy. Am I right? Cause there's our energy when we come down here. They say all we know is to jump and wave. So, it's in every creed and race. Can I have a big wave right now? A big wave, a big wave. 1, 2. Say whoa, oh, 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 oh. I feel I could stay right here. Living in my soul, yeah. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I feel I could stay right here. Look how West Indies are way. Everybody charge up, we going higher, full of energy, energy. Say, everybody charge up, we going higher, full of energy, energy. Say what? Oh, yeah. Me pulse raising, we vibrating. Oh, yo. Yeah, yeah. Me pulse raising, we are the ground shaking. Look around me. Mama, you know where my heart is. I'm a proud West Indian. When we reign in the 60s, we erupt the stadium. Win, lose or draw, we celebrating. Cricket is the game we love. A smile on every face, representing where we from. Cause it's our energy when we come down here. They say all we know is to jump and wave. So, it's in every creed and race. I want to hear every West Indian say, whoa. I feel I could stay right here, living the muscle, yeah. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I feel I could stay. Look how the muscle. Everybody charge up. We going higher, full of energy, energy. Everybody charge up. We going higher, full of energy. Whoa, yo, yo, energy. Say what? Whoa, yeah. Me phone's raising, we vibrating. Oh, yo. Yeah, yeah. Me phone's raising, we are the ground shaking. Look around, it's on our way. Jumping up as somebody. Tell the bad boys of today. West Indies full of energy. Look around, it's on our way. Jumping up as somebody. Say, love is the only energy. And we go jump till morning. Jump till morning. Look, the moon won't sleep late. West Indies, tell them we not leaving. Any progress in your here tonight right now? Tell them it's madness in the capital. So I feel like I'm running tough again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave with all my fun and them. No place like home. Oh, somebody say, one more time. Say, I feel like I'm running tough again. magical. It's a blessing sent from above. And we go chant till morning. Chant till morning come. Look, the moon gonna sleep late. We will say, tell them we not leaving. We not leaving. Till the last drop of a candle is madness in there. So, I feel like I run in tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave it all my friend and them. No place like let me hear you. I feel like I'm running tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave it all my friend and them. No place like why? No waste the time away. Jam on somebody. Hands up in the air. Madness everywhere. It's in with DNA. Play a mass. Wind up. In the band. Free up. Live your life. And do whatever you like. Oh, yeah, yeah. West Indies in with DNA. West Indies in with DNA. Oh, yeah, yeah. When we on the roadway, we like we own way. West Indies in with DNA. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Teja, artist from Trinidad and Tobago, of course, the winner of the Road March in 2024 with the song DNA. And just like that, we bring the curtain down on another unforgettable celebration of West Indies cricket excellence.
I know that we're all excited and eager to celebrate, but tonight we honored not just performances, but passion, perseverance, and pride in the maroon.
Indeed, to all the winners and nominees, thank you for raising the bar and inspiring future generations across the Caribbean.
And of course, a big thank you as well to our partners, our supporters, and of course, all of you, our viewers, for joining us for this very special night.
From the legends of the past to the stars of today and the rising talents of tomorrow, West Indies cricket continues to shine.
And on behalf of Cricket West Indies and Wipa, we wish you a good night. And remember, the legacy lives on.
Now and forevermore.
It's time to rally around the West Indies. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Caroline C.C. Reed and Mr. Darren Ganga.
Now to bring...
Oh, it's high in the air again. Can you feel the love on a stranger's face? Look at the West Indies. West Indies cricket is all our legacy. It's our energy when we come down here.